It was a long and trying day for Butch Davis and the Miami Hurricanes a week ago at the Carrier Dome in Syracuse as the Canes took on the Orangemen, the winner laying claim to the Big East title. The young Hurricanes clearly were not ready for a game of this magnitude as Donovan McNabb, the Heisman Trophy candidate, raced through the Canes on the way to a 66-13 victory. Now the Canes will face another Heisman Trophy candidate in UCLA Bruins quarterback Cade McNown as UCLA tries to get to a national title game. For Miami, the key will be keeping the ball away from that explosive UCLA offense. To do that, Edgerrin James must continue his streak. He has 5 straight 100-yard rushing efforts. It's also the final game in the Orange Bowl for quarterback Scott Covington and the rest of the Miami seniors. It's Miami and UCLA next here on Sports Channel. From the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida, Sports Channel presents Miami Hurricanes football. Today, the Hurricanes look to erase the memory of last week's loss at Syracuse and at the same time knock the number 2 ranked UCLA Bruins out of the Bowl Championship Series. Hi, everybody. I'm Frank Forts. I'll tell you what's happening. As usual, my partner John Congemi will tell you why. And John, for the Hurricanes, the Big East race is over. They know what bowl game they're going to, but for UCLA, still a lot of uncertainty because at 10-0, they are one of 3 undefeated teams and in line to play for the national championship with a win today.
Well, unfinished business, really, Frank, for UCLA. They have to come out today and play well against the University of Miami and really score a lot of football points, get into the end zone because they're ranked 2nd in the Bowl Championship Series rankings. They're ranked 3rd in the AP and USA Today, but they have to get a share. Either 1 or 2 will get them into the Fiesta Bowl. That's their goal right now. Try to find a way to defeat Miami and defeat them convincingly.
And of course, UCLA has one of the best offenses in the country. Butch Davis calls it the best in college football in the last 8 or 9 years. They score, and they score with regularity.
They have great talent at the skill positions. They know how to get into the end zone, and 40 points a game, yeah, that'll win you a lot of games. 10-0, rushing yards, almost 200 yards. I think the most important graphic on the bottom, they've scored at least 27 points per game in their current 20-game winning streak. That is incredible. Miami, to win or to stay in the football game today, Frank, they're going to have to get in the end zone, and that means Scott Covington using his ability on the outside.
Well, the trigger man for UCLA, a guy who's going to be at the Heisman Trophy award ceremony, may not win it, but he's one of the 4 finalists. That's Cade McNown.
Well, the Johnny Unitas Award winner. He holds 5 of the top 9 days in passing in UCLA history. His number's very comparable to Scott Covington, only he has no losses, and that's a great job. And it always has to go back to the quarterback. He does a great job distributing the football and really moving the pocket away. They use the field with tremendous success. They go down the field. They have great core of wide receivers. You see Farmer there going into the end zone, but he knows how to move the football with his backfield too. He can get it to his backs. One of them here, you see Foster catching a long pass for a touchdown. They do a great job distributing the football, spreading defenses out, and it all starts with Cade McNown.
Multiple offensive sets, multiple offense. For the Hurricanes, their byword today is ball control, and they've got the guy to do that in Edgerrin James, who has been on a roll, John, the last 5 games.
Well, the only way Miami can stay in the football game is to control the football with Edgerrin James. You take a look at his numbers. In the last 5 games, 12 touchdowns, 10 of those rushing, and 749 total yards. He's had a 100-yard game, all of them, in the last 5 games. He's reached over 100 yards. He knows how to move the football through the tackles, and he's done a nice job receiving the football as well. You see Covington here scrambling out to his right. He finds Edgerrin James in the near sideline against Pittsburgh a couple weeks ago. He can make you miss in the open field, whether he's catching the ball or running the football. He can make you miss, so he has to have a big day for Miami to stay close.
Well, the Hurricanes handicapped in a couple of areas. Of course, still missing Reggie Wayne out with the knee injury. He missed the Syracuse game last week, and he was sorely missed. And at middle linebacker, Nate Webster will miss the game. He's got turf toe, and he also failed to fulfill some academic requirements, so he's being held out of this game, and that puts the onus on a true freshman.
Well, it's a huge question mark and a huge game. You see there the leading tackler on the team with 134. He had 3 sacks. It's going to put a lot of pressure on Chevin Marshall and Dan Morgan. They're going to have to pick up the slack at that middle linebacker and outside linebacker position for Miami. You have to put pressure on this UCLA offense because they can get into the end zone, scoring 27 points or an average of that. A lot of pressure on a young linebacker.
And one other thing on the Miami defense, Leonard Myers, their best cornerback, is hampered by a knee injury. He's expected to play but will not start. We'll be back with the opening kickoff from the Orange Bowl. It's Miami and UCLA coming up here on Sports Channel. University of Miami football on Sports Channel is being brought to you in part by Bell South and its international family of customers. By Grand Prize Chevrolet Oldsmobile, located in Miami, where Jimmy Johnson does business. By Office Depot. Business is crazy, but Office Depot makes sense. By Citgo. Depend on Citgo when it counts. By Hoover. Nobody gets the dirt like Hoover. Nobody. And by Mazda. Come see what happens when a car company has more engineers and fewer accountants. And the Bruins of UCLA, the regular season finale for Miami, as they will go on to the Micron PC Bowl at Pro Players Stadium for their bowl game against North Carolina State. UCLA trying to earn a place in the Fiesta Bowl, as all three undefeated teams are in action today. In UCLA, Kansas State, and Tennessee will try and sort out who's going to play in the Fiesta Bowl. And this BCS thing, you know, it was going to come down in the first year that they would have three teams undefeated. Miami won the toss and deferred. They will receive the second half kickoff. Todd Severs will kick off with about a 16-mile-an-hour wind at his back. Ryan Rock will take it 5 yards deep in the end zone, and that's where he'll stay. UCLA will start 1st and 10 at their own 20. John, we debated off the air whether it's wise to give the ball to UCLA right off the bat rather than receive the opening kickoff, but Butch Davis maybe want to set the tone with his defense, but they're going to have a hard time. Cade McNown, 2,600 yards passing, 18 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, a school record 61 touchdown passes. We'll take a look at the rest of the UCLA offense after the opening play. Jermaine Lewis is the tailback and Darrell Price the fullback in the I set standard I formation. This is Lewis on the draw to the 22, and that's all. Al Blades and Chevin Marshall in on the tackle for Miami. We'll take a look now at the UCLA offense. It is a huge, huge offensive line. Jermaine Lewis gets the start. Deshaun Foster has also been a featured back. Brian Poley-Dixon, 6'5", 210 pounds out of Tucson, Arizona. He has 38 catches. And the offensive line, Chris Ferris, 6'9", 315 pounds, a junior, anchors a very, very big offensive line. We'll take a look at the defense after this 2nd and 8 play for UCLA. Again, it's Lewis, this time with some room to the 25. Hole closed up quickly. Dan Morgan in on the tackle for Miami along with Michael Smith. And it will bring up 3rd and 5. Derek Ham with 12 sacks leads the Hurricane defensive front four. Among the linebackers, Dan Morgan needs 12 tackles to be the Big East leader this year in tackles, and Chevin Marshall getting the start in place of Nate Webster. Al Blades, the strong safety, having a very fine sophomore season, and Nick Ward gets the start in place of Leonard Myers. Leonard is expected to play. UCLA shows double wide receiver to the bottom of the screen. The tight end Mike Reed set to the top. This is motion from Melsby, another wide receiver. McNown's first throw on the outside, complete to Poley-Dixon, and Nick Ward brings him down at the 34-yard line, but it is a pickup of 8 and a UCLA first down.
Well, if you're Cade McNown and you see number 3 Nick Ward out on the corner, who hasn't played much this season for the Miami secondary, that's where you want to go, especially to Poley-Dixon, number 82. He's 6'5", 205 pounds, just a quick out to the outside, but this kid has enormous hands and great technique. He can get down the field, just get the ball close, and he'll come down with him. You'll see that connection a lot today.
Well, Mike Rumpf at 6'2", probably a better matchup, but Rumpf is a true freshman. Has started twice this year. 1st and 10 UCLA from the 34. And the tight end Grebe jumps and flags fly. Mike Grebe, 6'4", 248 senior out of San Jose, guilty of the false start. And our referee John Smith Jr. and the Big East crew today
false start
makes
offense,
the call.
5-yard penalty, remains first down.
So I'm sure you'll be on the soapbox later, but you see the tight end, Frank, coming off the ball. Grebe, as you said, just anticipating the snap count, and that puts UCLA back 5 yards. And it's a good way for Miami to start this series right here, to attack UCLA in a bad situation on first down.
Deshaun Foster in a tailback. 5 in the pattern. McNown hit as he throws, still got it out complete to Foster. Foster shoved out of bounds by Nick Ward at the 33-yard line. That's a pickup of 4. McNown stepped up under some good pressure that time, John.
Yeah, it was great pressure up the football field. They made McNown step up into the middle of the pocket. You take a look at Miami coming up the field in the orange jerseys. A lot of pressure from the corners. Cade does the smart thing, step up where the pressure isn't there. But you see Ham makes Cade throw the football. A very risky throw out there. No defender close, but a tough throw for a quarterback. Frank, on second down, look for UCLA possibly to move this pocket to the wide side of the field.
It's Foster in motion. McNown to the hash, complete to Neufeld, his tight end. And he is brought down by Michael Smith and Shevin Marshall up at the 44-yard line, maybe about a half-yard shy of a first down.
Cade McNown, a nice decision, very sound quarterback, makes great decisions, tall, very strong. He steps up and delivers the football to Neufeld, the tight end, number 40. Nice job of distributing the football. Gets him in a great situation now at 3rd and short.
13th catch on the year for Ryan Neufeld out of Morgan Hill, California. And it's 3rd and 1. UCLA with double tight end, only one wide receiver. Price and Foster, the running backs. On the option, pitch to Foster. Good block on the outside from the fullback Price. And Dan Morgan and Al Blades have to take down Deshaun Foster at the Miami 46-yard line. That is a pickup of 10 and a first down.
You said it all, Frank. The fullback, Darrell Price, number 9, just a devastating block on Edward Reed. Edward Reed likes to give up his body and try to make spectacular plays on the outside. You see him a full head of steam trying to leap over the block, but he actually doesn't make the play, and the pursuit finally gets the runner, Deshaun Foster. Dan Morgan, you see, and Al Blades there, but not until Foster gets the first down for UCLA.
UCLA in Hurricane territory at the 46. Adrian Wilson in a defensive tackle replacing Damian Lewis. McNown with a first down throw. Sets up the screen to Foster. Foster at the 45. Tripped up there. Michael Smith and Nick Ward making the play, and they held it to a gain of 2.
Ward and Smith did a great job of stopping the screenplay. It looked like it was going to be a much bigger play. Foster gets the pass out in the flat from McNown, but Michael Smith, as you said, came up, did a nice job. They bracketed the tailback that time and really limited his production on the outside. Nice play by number 59.
Here's the series history. 3rd meeting between the teams. UCLA won the Fiesta Bowl back in 1985 in a wild game, and then Butch Davis's first game as UM head coach, the Bruins won at 31-8 as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, now a Miami Dolphin, had a huge 180-yard day. 2nd and 8. Pitch back to Foster. Big hole, and Foster cracks through to the 35-yard line before Marquise Fitzgerald can make the tackle, and that will be a pickup of 9 and a Bruin first down.
Well, that's a down Miami desperately needs to win. 2nd and long. If they can stop him on first down and get him into a passing situation, they cannot let the Bruins dictate what they want to do on the ground. A huge hole. You see the Bruin offensive line, Myers, the right guard, and Polak, the right tackle, and Sean Stewart, the center, doing a great job and really aggravating that sideline of Miami and Butch Davis, that coaching staff. They have to do a better job in the defensive situations, which was 2nd and 9.
It is now 1st and 10 for UCLA with 11 minutes and 11 seconds to go first quarter. Standard eye set for the Bruins. Pitch back to Foster. Foster popping through a hole will pick up about 7 or 8 before Shevin Marshall is able to make the tackle from the middle linebacker spot.
Miami in the right spots, Frank. You see number 27, Marquise Fitzgerald, coming up. He had a perfect chance to take Foster down in the open field. Watch in orange, number 27 right here. He breaks down. He just runs by Foster. He never really sets his feet. Now UCLA running a play. It looked like direct snap to Foster.
Direct snap, but flags flew, and the officials blew it dead.
Dead ball, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
Well, UCLA pulling out all the stops. They had a trick formation set up and a direct snap to Deshaun Foster, but they jumped the gun, and it'll cost them 5, bring it from 2nd and 2 to 2nd and 7. Craig Walendi, number 39, now in at fullback for the Bruins. This Miami defense bruised and battered after last week at Syracuse, and missing middle linebacker Nate Webster, their top tackler, with the turf toe injury and being held out for academic reasons. 2nd and 7. Give to Foster, ran into a big pile, and a great defensive stand there. As was number 97, Michael Lawson, stood up the fullback and then got help from Damian Lewis to bring down Foster for no gain.
Waylandy, the fullback, Craig, number 39, big fella, doesn't do a good job on number 97, Michael Lawson. You see right there, fights through the block, and then he gets some help from Damian Lewis, number 92. That's just strength, Frank, and he's had a terrific season. Michael Lawson, the senior, has done a nice job staying healthy in his senior year.
3rd and 7 from the Miami 32. Out of the shotgun. 4 in the pattern. McNown with time. To Pulley Dixon, knocked away by Marquise Fitzgerald. Marquise Fitzgerald with a nice hit on Pulley Dixon, causing the incompletion, and that'll bring up 4th down for the Bruins.
McNown hung in the pocket, had plenty of time, plenty of protection to look outside, tried to get it to Pulley Dixon on the outside, just a little inside corner route. Ball delivered just a touch high, and Marquise Fitzgerald broke on the football just in time to really jar the ball loose.
So it'll be a field goal attempt for Chris Saylor, who is 12 of 20 this year with a long of 47 yards. This will be from 49. Joey Stracula is the holder. High snap, and it's going to be a fake field goal, and he'll quick kick it. And this is a good kick. It's going to roll dead inside the Miami 5 at the 4-yard line. So into a 16-mile-an-hour wind, a little too much for Chris Saylor. So they decided to fake the field goal, go with the quick kick, and Miami will take over 1st and 10 inside their 5. 9:34 left to go first quarter. We're scoreless at the Orange Bowl. Miami nothing, UCLA nothing. We'll be right back. The Orange Bowl, UCLA moved into Miami territory, forced to punt on a quick kick as a fake field goal set up by Chris Saylor. And Scott Covington leads the Miami offense out 1st and 10. The give to Edgerrin James, pops through at the 5 and gets up close to the 9-yard line. Good gain, almost 5 on 1st down, as Larry Atkins, the all-star free safety, made the tackle. Here's a look at the Hurricane offense as we have an injury by a UCLA player, and it's Brendan Ayanbadejo, their star linebacker, 13 tackles for loss among his 58 total tackles.
And that's a guy that cannot miss. He makes a lot of plays out of that Sam linebacker position. He has great speed.
There's a look at Scott Covington. 16 touchdown passes, 8 interceptions. In the last 3 games, though, only 1 touchdown and 5 picks. So he has not been as sharp in the last 3 games, although, in fairness, Miami won 2 of those 3.
Yeah, and the people around him haven't been as sharp, and that all leads to his lack of productivity in the last couple of games, especially up front. They have to do a better job of picking up the blitz, Frank.
It'll bring up a 2nd down for Miami as they take Ayanbadejo off the field. Here is the Miami starting offense. Edgerrin James with 5 straight 100-yard games to his credit. Among the wide receivers, Santana Moss, in the absence of Reggie Wayne, Andre King will get a start. Moss has not caught a touchdown, by the way, since the Florida State game. Joaquin Gonzalez this week named Big East Newcomer of the Year, Rookie of the Year, playing with a sprained left foot. We'll see how that affects him. It's 2nd and 6 for the Hurricanes as James picked up 4 on the last play, and Ayanbadejo still slowly being helped off by the UCLA training staff, and that is the delay. And now John Smith, the referee, marks the ball ready for play, and the Hurricanes will break the huddle. Both wide receivers to the top of the screen, and a double tight end set for the Canes is Mondrell Fulcher in there along with Bubba Franks. That's Fulcher in motion. From the 8, trap play. James will get nothing, maybe a yard. Number 75, Pete Holland, in on the tackle for UCLA, along with 77, Michael Webb. And here is the Bruins defense. Kenyon Coleman with 4.5 sacks. Also has broken up 4 passes from his defensive end position. We mentioned Ayanbadejo and his 13 tackles for loss. He is out of the game right now. And the defensive backs, a very solid group. Jason Bell, cornerback out of Long Beach State, has broken up 14 passes this year but does not have an interception. On 3rd and 5 for the Hurricanes. Swings it out to Williams. Does Covington. Nick with some room to cross the 20 and bounced out of bounds at the 22-yard line. That is a Miami 1st down and a big 1st down as Marcus Anderson finally pushed him out of bounds.
All alone, Nick Williams on the near sideline. Scott Covington, really an easy read, trying to push it down to his tight end. He said, wait, I can make it easy on myself. Let me just give it to my fullback, the senior Nick Williams. Then he lowers his right shoulder and does a nice job getting the 1st down. A nice tough catch, too, with that broken finger on his left hand. He made sure he caught the football and then took it north and south.
Pickup was 13 yards out just past the 22-yard line. Miami with their initial 1st down. UCLA showing blitz. Covington swings it out to Santana Moss at the 25, and Anderson shoves him out of bounds at the 28-yard line. 8 minutes, 18 seconds left to go first quarter. Scoreless at the Orange Bowl. Frank Forte and John Congemi with you here on Sports Channel. The completion to Moss gets Miami about 5 yards. And that's important to win on 1st down and not let this UCLA defense get into their blitz package.
And I think it's important for Miami just to really roll the dice. There's really nothing to lose in this game for them today. They have to come back after a devastating loss on the road. They should just really let it all hang out offensively and gamble a little bit.
2nd and 5 for the Hurricanes. Possession started at their 4-yard line. Give to Edgerrin James. James to the 30. Got about 2. Kenyon Coleman in on the tackle for the UCLA defense. And it'll bring up 3rd and about 3. A look at Bob Toledo, who has yet led the Bruins to 20 straight victories. They lost their first 2 games of the 1997 season, then reeled off 10 wins in a row. And you see his overall record through 3 seasons out in Westwood. Now, this is a team, John, that was 5-6 2 years ago in 1996. And then, you know, they've really turned it around, but they're in a football-rich area. And, of course, when you don't have any restrictions, as Miami has been under, then you can recruit in a football-rich area. You have a chance to have some success, but they have really taken it to the top this year at 10-0. That's Fulcher, the tight end, in motion on 3rd and 3. Covington. Sideline pattern, complete to Andre King at the 45 to the 47-yard line. Marcus Anderson makes the tackle, but Miami again converts on a 3rd down as Andre King hauls in his 21st catch of the year.
Well, no player on the field wants to have a better day than Scott Covington, being a California native. Watch him regain his composure in the pocket. First you take a look at King on the outside. Watch him press the route and then come right back to the football. That's what makes Andre King open on the play on the outside against Marquise Anderson. He does a nice job of coming back to the football on the comeback route.
Miami with a 1st and 10 at their 47. 7 minutes and 10 seconds to go first quarter. Counter play to James. James trying to pick his way through, powers up to midfield, and will get about 3. Ryan Neese, the outside linebacker, number 47, and Jason Stevens, his free safety, number 4, combining on the tackle.
Edgerrin running with a lot of strength today, Frank. You see him early bobbing and weaving, but he still has enough power. Even though he's not hitting the line of scrimmage at full speed, he's carrying UCLA tacklers with him, and I think that's important as this game wears on in this heat.
Aaron Mosier in at wide receiver for the Hurricanes, along with Santana Moss, and Miami again with the double tight end, and James, the solo running back. This is Edgerrin James on the stretch play. Got 1 block, spins into the UCLA territory at the 45-yard line and picked up 5. It'll bring up another 3rd and short for the Hurricanes. Jason Stevens, number 4, again in on the tackle for UCLA, a 6'2", 188-pound freshman. But a look at Edgerrin James as he tries for his 6th straight 100-yard game, which would be a school record.
Well, that's a perfect example. He had a nice block by Mondrell Fulcher, but really did a lot on his own. You see down the football field, Ty Wise doing a great job. But watch Edgerrin right here. He's hit by 2 Bruins right at the line of scrimmage, and he carries him forward into a nice situation on 3rd down, 3rd and 2.
3rd and 2 for Miami. Mondrell Fulcher, the 2nd tight end, in motion. James running behind Nick Williams. Williams got it sealed off. James to the 35. Edgerrin James got a great downfield block, and Edgerrin James will score a 45-yard touchdown for the Miami Hurricanes.
Credit Andre King downfield. He just made a big catch on the comeback route. Now Edgerrin James uses his speed to get to the outside and then just follows Andre King into the end zone. A terrific play, getting the corner by the University of Miami.
Well, Nick Williams did a great job sealing off the inside. He knocked down 2 UCLA players. Watch it right here. He got a piece of one, got a piece of a second guy, and that opened it up in a great block, as you mentioned, from Andre King downfield.
Yeah, and Mondrell Fulcher at the point of attack. Just a great job by him and Nick Williams. Fulcher and Williams, and Andre King leads James into the end zone.
Jeff Popovich on the hold for the conversion. Andy Crossland will attempt the kick. Snap is good, hold is good, and Crossland's kick is through there. And with 5 minutes and 40 seconds left to go in the first quarter, the Hurricanes take a 7-0 lead. We'll be right back at the Orange Bowl with more action. It's Edgerrin James from 45 yards out with help from Andre King. It's 7-0 Hurricanes. The Hurricanes have a 7-0 lead with 5 minutes and 40 seconds left to go in the first quarter. 5:40 left to go in the first as Miami goes 9 plays, 96 yards, 3 minutes and 54 seconds, and the 45-yard touchdown run from Edgerrin James.
Well, it all starts up front. They did a terrific job of sealing the corner, and then it's Edgerrin James and Andre King downfield. Take a look at the block and the effort down the football field. That's what you have to do when you have a back like Edgerrin James and James Jackson, who's not in the football game, and Najee Davenport. They can make plays happen in the open field. You see Edgerrin James, he sets a new single-season rushing record for touchdowns with 15. But that's what these backs can do, and the wide receivers know that they can be a key down the football field, and they've done it all season long.
18th touchdown overall for James, his 16th on the ground, and both are records. By the way, you mentioned James Jackson. He is not dressed out today. He's on the Miami sideline, number 21, but he has a bad hamstring. So Edgerin's going to get plenty of work today, and Najee Davenport, the only tailback really available, I think, Butch Davis would put in this game if it remains close, to substitute for Edgerrin James. Here's Seaver's kickoff. Rock and Lewis are deep. This is Ryan Rock at the 5. Rock has a hole. Rock to the outside. Rock to the 40. Rock down the sideline. Delvin Brown finally going to chase him down at the 27-yard line. Flag down way back at the UCLA 30-yard line. So this one may be coming back.
Yeah, Miami very fortunate. It looks like that may come back. But it was a huge hole up the middle of the football field. Not a great effort by the special teams. It might have been a holding call.
If that's what it is, John Smith, our referee, makes the signal. Now, Miami got burned on a 100-yard return last week. And, John, I'm not so sure I'd kick it to these deep guys anymore.
I think with that breeze, Butch Davis and the coaching staff, especially on the special teams, was counting on receivers kicking it into the end zone.
Holding against the return team. 10 yards assessed. In the spot of the foul will be 1st and 10.
So that'll bring it back to the Bruin 20-yard line. It's on Newfield, number 40, is the word we get, although it looked like Chevin Marshall got held right about the 25-yard line. Newfield was blocking. I think it was the guy who was blocking on Chevin Marshall.
Looked like it.
It's 1st and 10 Bruins from the 20-yard line. Double tight end, both on the right side of the formation. That's where the pitch goes now to Brown. Keith Brown, the third-string tailback. He ran over Nick Ward, but Nick managed to get him down with help from Michael Barreau, and it's a 2-yard gain.
Well, Barreau really gambled on the play, Frank. He came inside, and on the toss play that really gave him instant leverage, but Nick Ward did a nice job. You see Barreau coming up the field. He beats the block of the tight end Newfield, and he's chasing the play down, but Nick Ward, as you said, puts his helmet right in front of the ball carrier. A nice job and great pursuit and speed by this Miami defense. You see him coming from the outside in, just a nice job of pursuit. He allows the orange jerseys that are coming from the inside of the football field to get pressure on the running game. Officially
a gain of 3. 2nd and 7, play fake to Brown. McNoud on the half roll.
Wide open.
Down the field, wide open is Farmer, and Larry Farmer's going to take it to the house. Danny Farmer is going to score from 77 yards out.
Wow, just made it look easy. McNown knew he had Farmer all the way on the corner route, and just when Nick Ward made a good play, he comes back and didn't make a play on the pass. You see him come inside. We'll take a look at from behind. Cade McNown does a nice job of just laying the football out. You see his Farmer, number 87. You see Ward slip, number 3, trying to get back on the outside. He followed the seam route too far inside. He had help, and he didn't come off it quick enough, and when he tried to come off, he slips and falls. An easy touchdown for the Bruins.
For Danny Farmer, his 7th touchdown of the season, and that is his long 77 yards. His previous long gain was 54. Saylor's conversion kick out of Stracula's hold is good. And with 4 minutes and 33 seconds left to go first quarter, it is now a 7-7 tie. The Canes 7. UCLA responds with a 2-play drive for a touchdown as Nick Ward lost his footing and Miami gives up the touchdown. We'll be right back at the Orange Bowl after this on Sports Channel. Football game day. Tune in every Saturday at 10 a.m. for Saturday morning college kickoff, a pregame guide to the hottest college matchups. It's all right here on Sports Channel Florida. A look at Danny Farmer, the former volleyball player at UCLA, part of a national championship team out there, and he has a 77-yard touchdown catch as Nick Ward really kind of blew the coverage. As you said, John, followed the post route of the outside receiver too much.
Well, it doesn't get too much easier for Cade McNown because he knew Farmer was breaking out on the corner route. He came into the game with 997 yards receiving. Now he has over 1,000 with 1,074 for his career. He's only the 4th UCLA receiver in the history of the school to go over 1,000 yards. And you see 2 plays, 80 yards, only 1 minute, 7 seconds. Farmer with the 77-yard touchdown.
So the Bruins respond very quickly to Miami's touchdown. Najee Davenport 2 yards deep. Davenport ran into his own man, Jeff Popovich, and goes down at the 23-yard line. That's where Miami will start 1st and 10. Najee last week at Syracuse set a Big East record with 208 kickoff return yards in a single game. Of course, he had a lot of opportunities. When
that's true.
Syracuse kicks off 10 times. And Scott Covington leads the Canes back on the field. Well, certainly the one thing Butch Davis said during the week, if UCLA is going to score, you want to keep them out there for 12, 13 plays, and hopefully they'll make a mistake or they'll turn it over. When you give up the quick strike like that, that is definitely not in the Miami game plan. James, the lone running back on 1st and 10. Covington against the blitz, hits Fulcher, his tight end, who skips across the 30, still going. And Mondrell Fulcher, they're trying to strip the football from him, but he gets up to the 39-yard line. Michael Webb and Jason Stevens combining on the tackle, but that is a Miami first down as Mondrell Fulcher picked up 14 yards.
Miami has two terrific tight ends, Mondrell Fulcher being one of them. He came in with 15 catches. Takes a look here, he bobbles the football, but watch the strength and the ability on the outside. He's 6'3", 245, and you're trying to strip the football away from a strong young man. That's not going to happen. He does a great job. Miami showing great effort, especially on offense, coming out against UCLA.
1st and 10, Canes at their 39. Pitch to James. James to the 40 with a stiff arm, and down he goes there. Ryan Neese making the tackle, along with Larry Atkins. Pickup is only a yard. It'll bring up 2nd and 9.
UCLA, great team speed, especially on defense. They have great linebackers that can run sideline to sideline, and Butch Davis trying to use the toss play to Edgerrin James on the outside. That time he didn't get the corner.
Ali Abdulaziz, number 48, is into the ball game for UCLA at the outside linebacker spot, replacing Ian Badejo, who went off after the first play from scrimmage for the Bruins defense. 2nd and 9, Miami at their 40. Quick out pass to Moss, complete at the 45, got away from the initial tackler and gets up across the 45 and close to the 47-yard line as Stevens again made the tackle for the Bruins. It'll bring up 3rd and about 3 for Miami.
Miami at the skill position today at receiver and at running back. They're making the first UCLA tackler miss. Watch him go up for the pass, Santana Moss, and he makes the cornerback miss. 2 and 3 players have to pursue to the football to really take down the Canes today. They're showing great effort. Nice timing on a 3-step pitch play and great effort on the outside by Santana Moss. 3rd down for the Canes. Pitch to James, got a good block from Williams. James puts his head down, gets to midfield, and picks up the first down as Ryan Neese, the freshman from San Bernardino, made the tackle for UCLA, but the Canes move the chains with 2:35 left to go in this first quarter and a 7-7 tie at the Orange Bowl. This is how Miami can stay in this football game early, keeping their offense on the field and keeping UCLA and Cade McNown on the bench. If they can move the football and grind it out with a good mix of run and pass, Butch Davis and this Hurricane offensive staff will be very pleased with the production so far.
Darrell Jones and Aaron Mosier, the wide receivers, both to the bottom of the screen. Canes with a double tight end to the right side of the formation. First down pass for Covington. Swings it out to James. James trying to make Marcus Anderson miss, and he did. Got a good block from Robert Hall and down to the UCLA 39-yard line before Tony White, the middle linebacker, made the tackle, the sophomore from El Paso, Texas. But that is a nice pickup of 11, and the Canes have a first down.
Frank, you said it, make them miss. That's what the Canes have been doing early. They're making the first Bruin defender miss. You see right in the open field, Anderson has a clean shot at Edgerrin James and whiffs. Edgerrin James does a nice job of coming inside and getting enough yardage for the first down. He does a great job catching the football, 16 receptions, and you see Scott Covington 6 for 6.
Counterplay to James. James across the 40, got about 7 yards. Eric Thomas, number 8, making the tackle along with Tony White. But a good gain on first down for Edgerrin James. Call it a gain of 6 as they'll mark it at the UCLA 33-yard line.
Edgerrin James just doing a nice job on the counterplay, letting his blocking go in front of him. See Nick Williams kicking out on the cornerback, and then it's all strength of Edgerrin James going up the football field for a 7-yard gain.
Najee Davenport now in a tailback, giving James a breather. A lot of workload today for Edgerrin James with James Jackson not available. 2nd and about 3 for the Canes. Davenport's first carry. And Davenport moves the pile, and he is close and should have the first down inside the UCLA 29-yard line. Again, Tony White on the tackle for the Bruin defense. Helped out by number 8, Robert Thomas, as UCLA going with the backup linebacker out of Imperial, California. It is enough for a first down for the Canes. Give Davenport a gain of 4.
Frank, this is not the same football team we watched last week in the Carrier Dome. They've come out with a purpose this week of really just trying to erase the memory of that. And you see the Bruin sideline a little bit concerned on defense.
First down Miami inside the Bruin 29-yard line. Both wide receivers to the top of the screen. Covington, 3-step drop. Complete to Andre King. King gets around Anderson. Andre King down the sideline, hauled out at about the UCLA 4-yard line, but that is a first down. Larry Atkins had to shove him out.
They're working on Marquise Anderson, the cornerback. He's a sophomore, 6 foot, 182 pounds. That's 3 or 4 times now that the skill position receivers and running backs of Miami breaking tackles. Just as a little simple hitch play to the outside, but it's these plays that can make you pay if you miss on the outside, because the only thing that can stop you is the goal line. And you see Andre King with a nice job with the stiff arm of the left arm, and he says, come on, let's get into it. We can get on top 14-7 right now.
First and goal from the 4. Davenport. Davenport hauled down at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Brendan Ayanbadejo back in the game for UCLA after the early injury, got the first contact, and then the posse arrived.
Yeah, that was great speed from the backside. UCLA, a little bit of slow developing play off tackle from Miami that time. Najee trying to hit the hole with a little bit of authority, gets caught from behind, and no gain on first down.
21 seconds and the clock moving here in the first quarter. It's Miami 7, UCLA 7. Frank Fort and John Congemi with you on Sports Channel. Double tight end to the top of the formation. Fade pattern, Aaron Mosher all alone, and it's a touchdown. UCLA didn't cover him.
Great job, great alertness by the quarterback, Scott Covington. There's nobody there. The crowd is pointing. Throw it to Mosher, throw it to Mosher. He's wide open. UCLA, a mental error on defense. Nobody goes out to cover on the outside to Aaron Mosher. It's an easy touchdown pass for Scott Covington.
And Scott almost underthrew it. It was so easy.
Well, they couldn't. They wanted to make sure they got set, because you have to be set. You don't want to panic. You want to get out, get down, get the football, get it out as quick as you can.
And by that you mean you don't want a motion penalty if not all your linemen are in their down stance.
Exactly.
Crossland's conversion out of the Popovich hold is good, and with 10 seconds left to go first quarter, Butch Davis's Hurricanes have a 14-7 lead. Aaron Mosher, his first collegiate touchdown, his third collegiate catch.
Well, I wish I could say it was a great route by Aaron Mosher on the outside, but it was a nice job just cradling the football, because he did a nice job of patience, because in that situation with nobody there, you might want to move and try to jump off sides, but Aaron Mosher goes down and gets the football. Scott Covington, his toughest job was making sure he gets the ball out there. There's nobody there. It's an easy score for the Canes. And this offense, Frank, they have to score with UCLA. UCLA, they're putting points on the board at a high clip this year, 27 points a game. So Miami needs to keep this pace up offensively.
Well, the UCLA defense, if you break down the numbers, they give up about 25, 26 points a game and over 400 yards. And in games like Stanford and Oregon State, those teams were able to put points up against them. They didn't win, but they were able to move the football, and UCLA was life and death to beat those teams. In fact, Oregon State should have been in overtime. They gave up a big bomb in the last minute of play to UCLA to lose that football game.
Well, that's where you desperately miss a guy like Nate Webster on this defense, because they have to be the key to this football game, trying to shut down Cade McNown.
There's Seaver's kickoff. Ryan Rock at the goal line. Rock has a bit of a hole, still on his feet, and gets out to the 26-yard line, where James Sutton and Al Blades will make the tackle. It's 1st and 10, UCLA at the 27. That's where they will start when the second quarter begins. We have reached the end of 15 minutes at the Orange Bowl, and after one period, it's the Hurricanes 14, the second-ranked Bruins 7. We'll be back at the Orange Bowl after this. By a score of 14-7. Miami has scored both times they've touched the football. A look at the offensive line as they put together a scoring drive there of 10 plays, 77 yards, culminating in the Scott Covington to Aaron Mosher 4-yard touchdown reception. Miami Hurricanes are headed to the Micron PC Bowl on December 29th at 7:30 p.m. at Pro Player Stadium. You can see the Canes take on North Carolina State. Tickets are available from the Hurricane Ticket Office. Call 305-284-CANES or 1-800-GO-CANES and support the Canes in their bowl game as they will take on Mike O'Kane's Wolfpack of North Carolina State, a team that finished 7-4, and Miami currently at 7-3. But John, a week ago at this time, they were out of the football game. It was 24-7 up at Syracuse. This time Miami has moved the football and gotten a couple of touchdowns, and UCLA has scored on one of their 2 possessions. But it's important not to let UCLA get the quick strike. If they're going to score, make them go 12 or 13 plays. You know, you hope the more they got to snap the ball, the more likely it is they can make a mistake. You give up 2 or 3 play drives where they hit the quick strike and you've got no shot defensively.
Well, just make them work on offense. It was too easy when you go down the field and you've got a wide open wide receiver in Danny Farmer, and Cade McNown is too good for that. He's not going to miss those opportunities. So for Bob Toledo, that's exactly what they want to do offensively. Now Miami, conversely, on defense, they're going to have to play big in the secondary. And right now you've got 2 guys on the corner that haven't played a lot in Nick Ward and Nate Brooks.
Nate Brooks right now in for Marquise Fitzgerald. Lone running back is Deshaun Foster. And whistle stop this play before it gets started. The play clock, I believe, expired, John.
Yeah, it looked like delay a game.
delay of game on the offense.
That is indeed the call, and that'll cost UCLA 5. By the way, Miami in the first quarter, 173 total yards. UCLA 138, 77 of those coming on the one big play to Farmer.
Yeah, and UM 75 yards rushing. That's what they have to do. This offensive line of Art Quijos is going to have to dictate how well Miami does offensively, picking up the blitz and running the football on the ground.
So it's 1st and 15 now as the ball back at the Bruins 22-yard line. Again, Foster the only running back. And McNown again checking off. 3-step drop. Pass complete to Farmer. Nick Ward makes the tackle up at the 30-yard line. That's a pickup of 8 on a 1st and 15. Just underway second quarter, 14:48 to go. And an ISO look at Danny Farmer, the former volleyball star.
We watched him in the pregame warm-ups. He's had great size on the outside, 6'4", 210 pounds, and nice touch. He has big hands, nice touch. He catches the football with his hands. He never really cradles the football in, and a lot of those traits come with good receivers, and he definitely has that trait.
Well, if you're a volleyball player,
he's got
you should have good hands. This is Foster on second down. Got a good block at the point of attack and will pick up a first down up to the 39-yard line. Chevin Marshall and Delvin Brown combining on the tackle. Good lead block there on the isolation play.
Yeah, Mike Grieb, number 88, the tight end, did a nice job on 44. Dan Morgan, left side of your screen. Watch Morgan, number 44. Just a big collision right here with the tight end. The tight end actually coming in motion, and Danny looking for the ball carrier, but he ran right by him. Deshaun Foster very quick, and a nice block at the point of attack that time by the tight end, Mike Grieb.
Morgan actually knocked Grieb backwards, but expended so much energy doing it that he couldn't make the tackle. 1st and 10 UCLA, just shy of their 40-yard line. Then the double tight end to the left side of the formation. McNown looks that way. His pass is bounced into Farmer and incomplete at the 45 with Nick Ward on the coverage. Farmer says, hey, I made that catch. It seemed pretty clear from up here it was a short hop.
Yeah, Farmer goes down for the dig and tries to catch it himself. Couldn't tell on the pass play if it did hit the grass or not, but a nice play on the outside anyway. Good effort.
In volleyball, they say that ball's not up.
It's not up. Let's take another look.
Yeah. You can see the football turn over. You can see the point turn over after it hit the ground.
One thing Miami has to do with their cornerbacks is make sure if UCLA catches the football in front of them, ensure the tackle. Don't miss the tackle, because that's where you get big plays.
It's Farmer in motion. Jermaine Lewis, the lone running back. And the screen set up to it. Good blocking on the outside. Look out for Jermaine Lewis. Jermaine Lewis at the Miami 40. Cuts back inside and finally hauled down by Michael Smith as penalty flags fly. And it could be a face mask on the Hurricanes. Edward Reed helping out on the tackle. UCLA, a very big screen and draw team.
They had it set up earlier in the game, and Miami did a nice job. This time, the screenplay looked like it goes for about 44 yards on the UCLA sideline, and Miami may get hit with a face mask. Michael Smith coming in. That is the call. Face mask, a personal foul against Miami. But the pressure and the pursuit of the Miami up front, their 4 defensive front coming, and it's a perfect play on the outside. Jermaine Lewis going down the UCLA sideline. Watch the face mask right here by number 59, Michael Smith. You want to make the tackle, and you want to be aggressive, but watch Cade McCown go back and draw the Miami front 4 to him. He's looking the opposite way, then he just drifts back enough to touch the football over the head of number 98, Matt Sweeney. But to compound the play, you get a face mask, and now the ball's inside the 10 at the 8.
Half the distance to the goal on the penalty. It's 1st and goal at the Miami 8. Lewis is the lone running back. Reed, the tight end, in motion. McNown fumbles and has to cover it up at the 10-yard line. That'll cost him 2 yards, but they do retain the football.
An opportunity for Miami really to stop this drive, to get on the loose football. McNown gets on the quarterback center exchange, the fumble. You see they had something happening off the right side, a big hole, but they just couldn't get the exchange clean.
John Dubravik, number 85, in at wide receiver in the UCLA offense. He joins Brad Melsby. And Craig Willendi, the fullback, in there along with Jermaine Lewis. McNown to pass. Slings it to the middle, complete to Dubravik, but Dan Morgan made the tackle after a gain of only 3 yards.
Wow, and did he make the tackle? Dan Morgan waiting on the delay in perfect position to come up and stick the UCLA wide receiver. Dubravik coming down just on a delay route, and you see Morgan had it read the entire way. His head went from inside to out looking for a wide receiver coming down, and Dan Morgan doesn't miss you much when you run inside.
Ryan Wilkins in at wide receiver as the Bruins go with the 3 wide receiver set. 3rd and goal from the 8. McNown under pressure, spinning out of the pocket.
He's got a man.
McNown still on the move. Throws now to the back of the end zone. Touchdown.
I think he was out of bounds.
Touchdown to Brian Poley-Dixon.
Wow.
And John Smith says touchdown. First of all, it looked like Derek Ham really got held on the pass rush, and then it looked like McNown had stepped out of bounds.
It really did. McNown, with great presence of where he was on the football field, it looked like he was going to run himself out of bounds, and then he finds Poley-Dixon in the back of the end zone for the Bruin touchdown.
Watch number 71 on 71. Now, if that's not a hold right there, I'm not sure
Frank.
what is.
And let's see if he gets out of bounds. Looked like the official was right there on the play. Couldn't tell. Couldn't tell from that replay, but what a play by McNown.
Here's Saylor's conversion kick, and it is good. And with 11:54 left to go second quarter, it is 14-14. There's Poley-Dixon running at the back of the end zone, keeping the pattern alive. And McNown hits him for the touchdown. We'll be right back. It's 14-14 at the Orange Bowl. The Canes and UCLA locked in a battle. We'll be right back after this. We think is an obvious holding penalty on that last UCLA touchdown, as McNown came out of the pocket, and it certainly looked right in the middle of the screen between the goalposts. Chris Ferris got latched on with both hands to Derek Ham. Now, if McNown stays in the pocket, it's probably not a hold, but once Ham has leverage to the outside, and you see McNown here did not step out of bounds before he delivered the football, so it was a good play from that standpoint.
Wow, that's just a schoolyard play by McNown. That's why he's one of the best quarterbacks in the nation, if not the best. Just keeping the play alive after getting flushed from the pocket. He has great mobility, 6'1", 214 pounds, of flushing himself out of the pocket and finding a receiver in the back of the end zone. That receiver, Poley-Dixon, the scoring drive, 7 plays, 73 yards, 7-yard touchdown reception. It ate up 3 minutes and 16 seconds on the clock, and UCLA evens the score at 14.
Set up by the 44-yard screen pass to Keith Brown. That came on a 3rd and goal from the 8. Here's Saylor's kickoff with the wind at his back. He'll drive this one out of the end zone on the fly. Almost nailed a couple photographers down there.
That's true.
And the Canes will start 1st and 10 from their own 20. Well, it's back and forth, punch counter punch here. And John, is it time to get on my soapbox?
I think you should have been on it already.
The obvious holding call that we can see from about 100 yards away up here, and the Big East crew missed it.
What a surprise,
What
right?
a shock. Well, I mean, Butch Davis told me one time, once the ball is snapped, the head linesman or the line judge on a particular side of the field, all he has to watch for is holding on the outside of the offensive line. And if he can't see that, well, he's probably got no business officiating. 1st and 10, Canes at the 20. Covington steps up in the pocket, over the middle, and dropped by Andre King. Larry Atkins thought he had an interception, and King cut right in front of him. Jason Bell had the coverage.
Scott Covington's first incomplete pass of the day today. He was 8 for 8 going into that opportunity, but Andre King almost made a nice catch over the middle on the in route. Covington did a nice job scanning the field. He wanted to go down to the right side to his tight end, Bubba Franks. It wasn't there. He came back. He's seen the field really well today, Frank.
2nd and 10, Hurricanes, with 11:44 to go second quarter. Fulcher in motion. Give to James, following Damon Neely. James has a first down across the 30-yard line to the 32. Jason Stevens, the safety, made the tackle.
All great backs have a knack of waiting for your blocking ahead of you. You don't want to rush it. You don't want to run up the back of your offensive lineman. A perfect example here, Edgerrin James. Watch him just tiptoe till he finds the crease right there, and then he explodes. He lets his blocking take place. Damon Neely does a nice job sealing the inside, and then James squirts through for a Hurricane first down.
First down at the 32. Nick Williams and Edgerrin James in the backfield behind Scott Covington. Moss and King, the wide receivers, will be at the right side of the formation to the bottom of your screen. UCLA showing blitz. Here they come. Miami picked it up. Covington's pass cut by King out at the 43-yard line. Wrestled down right there by Ryan Rock. That is a pickup of a dozen and a first down for the Canes.
Andre King picking up the slack of the receiving corps. Reggie Wayne out for the second week in a row now. Andre King becomes a key player running routes down the football field. Covington, a lot of zip on this pass, just a 5-step drop, a curl route to the outside. Watch him go up and get the ball. King does, goes up, climbs the ladder for the reception and a first down.
1st and 10 Miami at their 44. James to midfield and into UCLA territory. Ryan Neese, the linebacker, making the tackle, but that is another win on first down for Miami as James got 8.
Larry Coker's probably saying, why wasn't it this easy last week? Let's flip a coin. Run, pass, run, pass. They're doing a great job mixing it up. Nice blocking at the point of attack. Miami winning the battle at the line of scrimmage, Frank, and Edgerrin James only needs a small crease. He's getting large holes to rip through this Bruin defense.
Big game for Scott Covington. You see 92 yards for James because he grew up in Laguna Niguel, California, which is about 45 minutes south of LA. Give to James on a 2nd and 2. Edgerrin trying to turn the corner. Can't do it, and he'll be dropped down by White, the middle linebacker, and they have lost a half a yard there. He'll bring up 3rd and short.
Yeah, the first time UCLA really doing a good job of preventing Edgerrin James to get his shoulder squared up to go straight ahead. That time he's pushed to the outside and really couldn't get any leverage going against this Bruin defense. The linebacking corps does a nice job of stringing the off-tackle play outside and preventing Edgerrin from getting the first down.
Hard to criticize Edgerrin, but you got to know down and distance. It's 2 yards for the first down. Just lower your shoulder and cut up field. Try to get the first, not try to break it. 3rd and 2. Pitch to James to the short side. James slices through for a first down, and inside the UCLA 45-yard line, Neese and Stevens on the tackle for the Bruin defense, but Edgerrin James picked up 6 and a first down.
Must have heard you, Frank. He did exactly that on the toss play to the short side. Wasn't a lot of room to run, but Edgerrin made himself small. He's a big fella at 6'1", 220. Watch him get inside and just get up in the air just a little bit to get himself through the crease, through the hole, and provide Miami with another first down. A great drive right now by the Canes.
Canes have it 1st and 10 just inside the Bruin 44. 9 minutes, 33 seconds to go second quarter. It's a 14-14 tie at the Orange Bowl, and so far a highly entertaining game. On first down, James again. Not much there this time. Got about a yard or two. Tony White, the middle linebacker, making the tackle for the Bruin defense. It'll bring up 2nd and about 8.
You see Nick Williams, number 36, helping Edgerrin James off the ground. He was going over to Edgerrin saying, man, I thought you were going to bump that outside or just kick it outside because I had my guy walled to the inside. Nick Williams talking to him in the huddle saying, next time, big fella, just follow me to the outside. There's a lot of room there.
Call it 2nd and 9. Ball between the UCLA 42 and 43-yard lines. Andre King and Darrell Jones, the wide receiver, and that's Jones resetting to the wide side of the field.
Pressure defense, man coverage on the outside.
Williams in motion. Blitz coming. Covington in trouble. Covington should just throw it away, and he does. That's a good decision by Scott Covington. Not taking the sack. Nick Williams was in the area and throw it out of bounds.
Well, he's on his game today, and he had a chance. If he had just a second to look downfield, his tight end had run by someone, a defender, looked like a linebacker running with number 18, Mondrell Fulcher, but Covington under a lot of duress, as you said, Frank, did a nice job just getting rid of the football, setting up a 3rd and 9.
UCLA, Miami, rather, when they're scoring first, as they did in this game, you see their record since 1983, an astounding 127-12. On 3rd and long. Covington with good protection. Wide open, Moss over the middle at the 30. Spins and goes down at the 32-yard line, but does have enough for the first down. Marcus Anderson and Jason Stevens making the tackle. And John, we were talking before the game about Santana. He hasn't had a touchdown since the Florida State game.
Yeah, there hasn't been much moss growing with Santana, but take a look right at the line of scrimmage. Marquise Anderson, again, number 7. This time he's in the slot. Miami taking advantage of Anderson, but he beats him off the line of scrimmage. Great protection by the offensive line. That's what you love as a quarterback. There's nobody in front of you. You have great lanes to throw through, and if Scott Covington has that kind of protection, he will rip UCLA in the secondary.
On 1st and 10, James, not much there. Will squeeze out a couple of yards. Billy Piper, outside linebacker, making the tackle, number 43, along with Eric Thomas, number 8. Give James credit for a 2-yard gain. It'll bring up 2nd and 8. 8 minutes and 7 seconds, and the clock moving here in the second quarter. It's been a fast-moving game, John, because both teams have been successful on the ground. Not a lot of plays that have been out of bounds.
Butch Davis has to be happy with the way his offensive team is keeping Cade McNown and that other offensive team for the Bruins on the sideline. Now they just have to make sure they cash in for touchdown.
2nd and 8 with Williams, the fullback, in motion. Fake pitch. And Covington, great catch by Andre King down at the 20-yard line. He is very close to a first down. Ryan Rock made the tackle.
It looks like a lineman down for the University of Miami. Might be Gonzalez, 73, and it is.
It is Joaquin Gonzalez, who came into this game with a sprained foot, a sprained left foot. And they are rolling Joaquin over, and we'll check him out. Let's take a look at the last catch by Andre King, who is a superb athlete.
Well, this is usually the time of the game, Frank, when the receiver comes back walking to the huddle and says, Scott, can I talk to you for a second? Can you get this one down just a touch, because this is about the 3rd time I've had to make you look good, and I promise I'm going to catch it. I'm going to keep going up for him, but just bring it down a notch and everybody will get along okay.
Yeah, don't expose the ribs so much to those DBs. Joaquin Gonzalez up and walking. He'll be replaced by Robert Sampson, number 76, the junior.
And usually the quarterback will come back and say, you know what, if I throw it there again, go get it. Don't worry about it.
By the way, our congratulations to Joaquin Gonzalez, who this week was voted by the Big East coaches as the Big East Rookie or Newcomer of the Year. And John, I'm very impressed by that, because the coaches were paying attention. When they make give an offensive lineman that award, that shows you it just wasn't a no-brainer vote that they just voted for a running back or a wide receiver, that they looked at the tapes and they were impressed by Joaquin. So
well deserved.
Hearty congratulations. 1st and 10. There was good for a first down on a completion to King. James on the stretch play. Ran by one tackler. Edgerrin still going to the 10-yard line. And he's close to a first down. Tackled by Eric Thomas, the outside linebacker from Imperial, California. Edgerrin James up over 100 yards already in this game.
Tony White, 51, has a clear shot at Edgerrin James. He runs right by him because Edgerrin has great vision. He just slowed up a little bit, let Tony White run right by him, and then continued on his merry way inside. It looks like inside or right at the 10-yard line.
It is 1st and goal. He got inside the 10. And Tony White, the middle linebacker, coming off the field for UCLA, holding his left arm rather limply. Miami now 14 first downs. The Bruins have 7, but it's a 14-14 game with 7 minutes and 11 seconds to go 2nd quarter. Edgerrin James already with 15 carries and 108 yards, as you see Robert Sampson retying the left shoe. Sampson, the junior from Brandon, Florida, 6'3", 284.
Forget it.
Says, forget it. We got a play to run. 1st and goal, just inside the 10.
Man coverage on the top, Frank.
UCLA shows blitz. Here they come. Miami picks it up. Corner route. Santana Moss open, but he can't get the football. Ryan Rock had the coverage. And Santana, he readjusted his face mask during the route. He got tied up with Rock, and in order to see the ball, had to readjust his face mask during the route. And see his helmet get pulled down there?
And that's a tough catch. You see Santana with the left hand. He has the presence, and he was very calm on the route. He did a nice job getting to the back corner. Scott maybe wanted to get that ball over his left shoulder instead of throwing it up the field, but that's an opportunity that they miss.
Jones and Mosier now the wide receivers, both to the left side of the formation. James on a 2nd and goal. James with a lot of room. Edgerrin to the 5. Edgerrin to the goal line. Touchdown. Edgerrin James with a 9-yard touchdown run, and Richard Mercier threw a superb block to spring him into the end zone.
Frank, this is where the University of Miami has had all their success. Running to the short side of the field has been a great thing for the University of Miami in '98. They do it again. Edgerrin James, they split twin receivers to the left-hand side, and they're daring UCLA to stop them to the short side. They can't. Edgerrin James gets in. Watch the blocking at the point of attack. 62, Richard Mercier first. The fullback, Nick Williams, does a nice job. And look at Mercier down the field, just carrying Bruins into the end zone is Edgerrin James.
Crossland's conversion kick out of Popovich's hold is good. And with 7 minutes exactly to go in the 2nd quarter, the Canes lead it for the 3rd time in the ball game. It's Miami 21, UCLA 14. Back with more from the Orange Bowl as we'll take another look at Edgerrin James' touchdown from 9 yards out. We'll return on Sports Channel after this. Third time today, 21-14. And their 3rd long scoring drive of the afternoon. Miami this time goes 14 plays, 80 yards in 4 minutes 54 seconds. Edgerrin James with his 2nd touchdown of the day. This time a 10-yard run. And Miami has their third lead of the game. The broadcast rights to today's telecast have been granted to Sports Channel Florida by ESPN Regional solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any reproduction, transmission, or other use of this program without the express written consent of ESPN Regional or Sports Channel Florida is prohibited. No fiesta. There's one fan who doesn't want UCLA playing for the national title. He had a fiesta. Another look at Edgerrin James' second touchdown of the afternoon.
Yeah, watch 62 in front of Edgerrin James. What kind of syrup do you want with that pancake, son?
Well, I'm going to go on record right now, John. I wouldn't kick it to the deep guys.
No, we talked about that.
Going against a 16-mile-an-hour wind, I'd make one of the up guys handle it.
We talked about that during the break. I'd like to see this ball on the ground as quickly as possible, just kind of like squibbing it down the field and give Miami's coverage team, the coverage team, some time to get down the field and get to the ball carrier.
Todd Severs to kick off. Rock and Lewis are deep, and they will pooch it high. This is Fletcher, a backup tight end at the 21-yard line, and down he goes right there.
That'll work.
That definitely will work. Great special teams coverage by James Lewis, the freshman defensive back, number 23. And that'll prevent the long returns. That's exactly what we were talking about.
Yeah, and in the cool zone, Edgerrin James, he deserves to get some cool on him because he's been nothing but hot today. He's doing a great job running the football and great patience. Edgerrin, for a big back with a lot of speed, he shows great patience in the backfield of just picking and bobbing and weaving his way into the holes and into the end zone for Miami.
There's Cade McNown's numbers on the afternoon. Couple of touchdown passes already. Keith Brown is the lone running back. 1st and 10 from the 23. Fake to Brown. McNown under some pressure. McNown deep down the middle and overthrows Polly Dixon at the Miami 40-yard line. Derek Ham did put the heat on. Edward Reed had the coverage. Polly Dixon was open, but McNown had to unload, John, because Ham was breathing down his throat.
That was the key, because if he has time, Edward Reed's going to see nothing but Polly Dixon, his nameplate, in the end zone. Look at that right there. He has a 5-yard cushion on Edward Reed, and you can't do that to UCLA. You have to make them earn everything that they're going to get. They've had 2 big plays already that have set them up for touchdowns. And you take a look at Ham. He does a nice job coming from the right side, and also Quincy Hips from the left side.
Ham out right now. Brian Stinson, number 95, in to replace him on 2nd and 10. Option play. Pitch back to Brown. Again, a good block on Edward Reed, and Brown brought down by Dan Morgan up at the 29-yard line. It's a gain of 6. Bring up 3rd and 4 with 6:36 to go second quarter. John, you get the feeling that if this Miami defense could stop UCLA once or twice, that they could really get control of this game.
And they're going to wear the clock. Miami's offensive unit doing a nice job of mixing up the run and pass. They're running the clock, and it's to Miami's advantage. They have to come up big on 3rd down, and UCLA cannot continue to hit the big play on Miami. And if they do, it's going to be a long afternoon for this defense. But they have to come up with a stop right now.
3rd and 4 for the Bruins. Reed, the tight end, in motion. McNown with time, going for his tight end, and that's complete out at the 35-yard line. Catch made by Danny Farmer, the wide receiver, coming across the short zone. He picked up 6 and got a 1st down. Michael Smith on the coverage.
Yeah, Rock Mack looked like the middle linebacker on that play was in a perfect spot. Take a look at 51 right there. He knows Farmer's coming inside. They went to that bunch, and he's in the right spot. He just doesn't make the play. All he had to do was get his left hand in there, knock the football down, but great concentration on the inside catch that time by Danny Farmer. You got to give him credit. Terrific throw and catch.
It looked like Mack got a piece of the ball, but Farmer stayed with it. 1st and 10 Bruins at their 35. McNown to throw on 1st down. Down the right sideline, and this ball is overthrown to Larry Farmer. Leonard Myers step for step on the coverage. Excuse me, it's Danny Farmer, not Larry Farmer. Danny Farmer, with 45 catches coming into the game, has a 77-yard touchdown already this afternoon.
Cade McNown under duress again by number 71, Derek Ham. He's doing a nice job of beating the right tackle. It looked like Chris Ferris, number 71, the left tackle, he's doing a nice job of getting upfield and making McNown really feel uncomfortable stepping up into the pocket. Watch him just using his speed to the outside. Just a whiff by Ferris, number 71, that makes McNown unload a little bit quicker than he wanted to.
2nd and 10 from the 35. Fake pitch. McNown complete to his tight end Grebe out to the 44-yard line. Michael Smith and Marquise Fitzgerald combining on the tackle, and depending on the spot, it could be a 1st down. And John Smith will stop the clock, and they will measure for a UCLA 1st down. It's a very difficult offense to defend, John. Well, we get word that Troy Danoff, number 50, the UCLA backup center, is out with a sprained left knee. So he has seen some time in this game, but is injured as they bring the chains across the field. John, very difficult offense to defend. We talked about bunches, and what that means is they put 3 receivers basically within about a 6 or 7 yard halo. It is a UCLA first down, causing man coverage and hoping to confuse the man coverage, either picking the defensive backs or hoping the defensive backs will run into each other in that bunch.
Well, and they move the pocket so well. Bob Toledo in the offense, you see the running back comparison. Miami 125 yards on 19 carries, and UCLA managing only 51 yards on 10 carries. But they move the pocket. They have a nice mix of run and pass. They have big receivers that can all run, and they're very athletic at the skill position.
Wallenby, the fullback, in motion. This is a give to Brown. Brown stumbles at midfield, moves the pile, and will pick up 5 on first down. Dan Morgan in on the tackle for the Hurricane defense, along with Leonard Myers. And it'll bring up 2nd and 5 for the Bruins as we approach the 5-minute mark of the second quarter. Butch Davis, his team in a shootout with the number 2 team in the BCS poll, the UCLA Bruins.
Well, you go back to that 3rd down conversion, the catch by Danny Farmer when number 51, Rod Mack, right there in your screen, along with Dan Morgan, was right there. This defense has to make a play like that just to stop UCLA, because right now Miami has the momentum. 2nd
and 5, UCLA at midfield. Fake to Brown. McNown stepping up, chased by Sweeney. McNown got it off to Grebe at the Miami 40. Grebe inside the 30, bumped out by Leonard Myers at the 24-yard line.
Well, that's a
pickup
big
of
play.
26 yards.
That's another big play of over 20 yards that UCLA is coming up with to really break the back of Miami. One step away. Matt Sweeney was one step away from getting a sack on McNown. Take a look from behind. He just can't catch him. McNown doing a great job of utilizing his athletic ability around the pocket. He's getting himself in position where Miami cannot get at him. They're pressuring him, but they can't make him force a turnover or make a bad play. You see 12 for 16 for 205 already, and it's not even halftime.
From the Miami 24, 1st and 10. Brown, the only running back. And Brown with the football. Huge hole. Brown inside the 20, picks up about 7. Al Blades and Chevin Marshall on the tackle for the Hurricane defense. UCLA moving the football once again on this Miami defense.
Well, they've got a great big offensive line, especially to the left side. Ferris goes at 310. Carabia goes at 308. And Sean Stewart, the center, is 300 pounds. So these guys can run the football and really get you off the ball. Miami, their goal right now, they just got to hold UCLA to a field goal opportunity, if not turn the football over, and the crowd trying to get into it.
2nd and 3. Brown again. Dances through the hole. Brown still going to the 10-yard line. Leonard Myers and Al Blades have him there, but that is a pickup of 8 and a Bruin first down at the Miami 10. 3 minutes, 30 seconds to go in the second quarter. It's Miami 21, UCLA 14. Another look at the 3rd string tailback. Keith Brown came in with a 382 yards, a 4.4 average, and 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, big hole off the right side. Polak and Andy Myers, 78 and 60. You see right there, and also Grebe, 88, doing a nice job on the line of scrimmage against Miami, but it's 1st and goal at the 10 for the Bruins.
First down, UCLA at the Miami 10. Brown on the trap play, big hole. Brown to the 3-yard line. Michael Smith, Marquise Fitzgerald on the tackle, but UCLA winning big on first down.
Yeah, credit Ryan Newfield, the tight end for the Bruins on the right side, number 40. Just did a terrific job of kicking out a Miami defender, and a huge hole for Keith Brown to rip it inside the 5 all the way down to the 3. Great block by Newfield.
Miami goes with the goal line
Left
defense.
side,
Adrian Wilson into the game, and look at that hole.
Left side on number 93, Michael Burrow. Burrow trying to go to the outside, and Newfield did a nice job.
Brown remains the tailback. Darrell Price the fullback. Brown again, this time stuck in the hole. Chevin Marshall got him around the waist, and then Michael Smith and Chris Campbell came up to finish him off. Pretty much no gain on that play.
There you see the speed of the Miami defense, the linebackers especially coming down. It looked like there was going to be a hole where the running back for UCLA, number 1, Brown, could get into the end zone, but there you see it right there, 59. Michael Smith got some help from number 48, Chris Campbell. But I think UCLA right now is going to move the pocket and use Cade McNown on the outside, maybe a play fake, and try to get the football in, throwing it.
UCLA with the triple tight end. McNown on the option. Pitch out to Brown, bobbles the football and goes down at the 4-yard line. A risky play by UCLA on 3rd and goal. And a forced pitch under duress, and Brown could not handle it cleanly.
Well, that's the break Miami needed, because Keith Brown could walk into the end zone if he just catches this cleanly. There's nobody outside in an orange jersey. You see, Edward Reed would have been the last defender to stop him, but he would have walked in. Keith Brown would have walked in the end zone. This is exactly what Miami needed, a break on the option play. You see, UCLA is not as proficient as Syracuse running the option.
Saylor from 22 yards out of Stracula's hold, and Saylor knocks it through there with 1:24 left to go in the second quarter. It's now Miami 21, UCLA 17. We'll take a timeout here at the Orange Bowl. The Canes lead it by 4. We'll be right back here on Sports Channel. Miami 21, UCLA 17 after the Chris Saylor field goal. Remember, sports fans, log on to sportschannelflorida.com for your link to the best coverage of Florida sports. Enter the Hockey Challenge contest. Send email to your favorite announcers, link to your favorite teams, and much more. It's all on sportschannelflorida.com. 1:24 left to go first half. Najee Davenport and Darryl Jones back to receive the Chris Saylor kickoff for the Bruins. And I would be alert for an onside kick here. Saylor instead pounds it deep. Davenport will watch it sail in and out of the end zone, and Miami will have it 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. So, John, kind of a victory for the Miami defense. UCLA getting only a field goal as they were going punch, counter punch on touchdowns for 5 straight possessions, and UCLA having to settle for the Saylor field goal. Since UCLA had their first possession of the game and had to punt, there's been nothing but scoring since then. 5 touchdowns and a field goal with both teams combined. It's
been hard to catch your breath, and Scott Covington has done a nice job with his composure, turning around, handing the ball off to Edgerrin James, and using his wide receivers, especially the surprise Andre King coming up big for the Canes.
Well, the one thing you want to avoid here is the turnover, because Miami does receive the second half kickoff. Covington gives to James on a delay. James across the 25, across the 30, has 11 yards and a first down. Ryan Neese making the tackle for the Bruin defense.
Now, Miami does have 3 timeouts remaining, and let's see, the clock's going to stop with the first down. So I think it's going to dictate what Miami does on this series, on these next 2 plays. If they can rip off another first down and get in position, they may start throwing the football to try to get on the board again before halftime.
Clock restarts with 1:17 to go. Miami hustles up to the line of scrimmage. Moss and King, the wide receivers, out to the top of the screen. Moss in motion. Again, a give to James. Miami going to play it conservatively. James will pick up about 4 out to the 35-yard line. We'll see if Miami spends a timeout. They're not. The crowd doesn't like it, but I don't think this is really bad strategy, because you don't want to turn the ball over. You're going to get the second half kickoff. The one thing Butch Davis would love to do is go into halftime with a lead, and he's got that, a 4-point lead right now.
The only thing I disagree with, Frank, I might have used 1 timeout, because you got 2nd down and 7. You've got control of your offense, and Scott Covington's having such a great day. You give yourself a chance to make a play.
Yeah, I probably would have spent the timeout there and see what happens on this play, and then you go conservative on 3rd down. Again, James, not much there. Michael Webb making the tackle as you hear the boos from the Orange Bowl. Boy, talk about getting spoiled in the space of 1 week. You get blown out by 53 last week. You're leading the #2 team in the country. And now UCLA looks like is going to spend a timeout. No, Miami. Well, now, see, that doesn't make sense. Why spend a timeout there if you're not going to use it on the previous play?
Well, I like the timeout. There had about 50-some seconds, and you really should have taken the timeout, because you give yourself an opportunity to keep your kids on the aggressive way of playing football. They've been aggressive all day on offense.
There's 15 seconds to go second quarter. It's Miami 21, UCLA 17. We'll take a break. We'll be right back on Sports Channel from the Orange Bowl after this. Your season tickets today. Both the men's and women's teams open their Big East season this week against Boston College. See great Big East basketball action at a great price. Call 305-284-CANES or 1-800-GO-CANES for basketball tickets today. And I'll tell you what, the Big East men's basketball, that is going to be a bear of a league. You've got UConn right now, that's the #1 team in the country. You've got Syracuse, which lost to it was Old Dominion?
Or, I can't remember.
Oh, no, Ohio U.
Lose.
They lost to Ohio U on Friday night, but they are 12th in the country. You've got Pittsburgh, which knocked off Kentucky. You've got St. John's, which has a load of individual talent. Leonard Hamilton tells you Rutgers is pretty good. And you've got the Canes who went to the NCAA tournament last year. But for the immediate thing, it is football, and Miami's balanced attack, 142 yards on the ground, 128 passing.
Well, the offense hasn't been the problem. The thing they have to do is stop UCLA from the big play on defense. If Miami can do that in this second half, they're going to stay in this football game.
See, what didn't make sense to me is calling the timeout after this last play. If you're going to use your timeouts, should have used it before the previous play when you were still up close to a minute to go in the first half.
That may have been a decision by Covington as well, with the clock running down and them not getting people in and out. They may have just called a timeout.
It is a 3rd and 3 for the Hurricanes at their 38-yard line. King in motion. Short side pitch to James. James will have a first down and more as he's run down at the 49-yard line. Now call a timeout and take a shot at the end zone.
Yeah, you definitely just throw a Hail Mary down there. They did. I believe they did call a timeout.
You're only 49, 48 yards away, and Miami did spend a second timeout.
But the thing that this does, Frank, is they should have about 30 or 40 seconds left to go on this clock. Look, take a look at the posse out in front of Edgerrin James. A lot of orange jerseys, and the linemen are 10 and 15 yards down the football field. That's a great sign. Art Kehoe should be proud of the way this offensive line has played in the first half. Anytime you make your first block at the point of attack on the line of scrimmage, you get rid of the defensive linemen, and then you go downfield and start hunting up cornerbacks and free safeties. That's when you're playing aggressive and you're playing with a purpose.
John, as you said, it's not a national championship setup game for Miami. Miami knows they're finishing in a tie for second in the Big East. They know they're going to the Micron PC Bowl at Pro Player Stadium against North Carolina State. UCLA's got everything on the line. So if you're Miami,
gamble.
Why not roll the dice here?
Well, if you're Miami, the script is already written for you. You know what's going on with your destiny as a football team. For UCLA, they've got a lot of question marks, and they've been in this situation only maybe a couple times this season where they've played in games where they had to outscore opposing offenses. They have to do that again the way Edgerrin James is running the football and the way Scott Covington is directing this offense. And you have to be concerned if you're a defensive coach, and I don't know what that sign is, but that sign may be, get deep or get back.
Yeah, the last thing they want to do is have somebody run by him. Edgerrin James having an outstanding first half, and he has put up his 6th straight 100-yard rushing game. So Miami from the UCLA 48, and they're going to give it to Edgerrin James once again and hope he can.
Well, maybe he can get a timeout right here, go down.
30. Edgerrin down at the 28. There's 1 second on the clock. I don't think they got it stopped in time. Larry Atkins made the tackle. And now the officials are conversing, and they say the first half is history. So after 30 minutes, after 2 quarters of football at the Orange Bowl, the crowd here stands and applauds as Edgerrin James and the Hurricanes have a 21-17 lead over the number 2 UCLA Bruins. We'll be back with an interview with Jim Morris and the rest of our halftime activities after this on Sports Channel. UCLA 17 as Miami tries to ruin the Bruins' hopes of a national title. An entertaining game. Frank Fort and John Congemi with you on Sports Channel. John, I said I don't know what it costs to get into this game, but the fans are getting their money's worth. Let's take a look at the first half highlights. Miami 96 yards. The first time they touched the football, Edgerrin James goes the last 45.
45 yards untouched. Watch the block by Andre King. Right there, he lets Edgerrin James get into the end zone, and Miami's on the scoreboard.
UCLA came right back with an 80-yard drive in 2 plays, the last 77. Cade McDowell on a little waggle here, and Danny Farmer, as Nick Ward falls down in coverage, has an easy touchdown.
This way to the end zone, says the UCLA bench. Farmer goes in, 77 yards. McDowell, you can't give him touchdowns this easy. He'll make you pay.
But Miami, right at the end of the first quarter, came back as UCLA, a mental mistake. Nobody covering Aaron Mosier in the goal line defense, an easy score.
Yeah, the first touchdown of Aaron Mosier's career, a very easy score for the Canes.
Canes up 14-7. Once again, UCLA comes back, moves 73 yards as an obvious hold on the outside was ignored by the officials, and then McNown does a great job of ad-libbing.
He just keeps the play alive. That's the key for a veteran quarterback, and he finds his favorite receiver, Polly Dixon, in the back of the end zone.
That made it 14-14, but the Canes come back in the second quarter and cap off another long drive, 80 yards, as Edgerrin James goes the last 9.
Follows a great block by Richard Mercier right there at the 5-yard line. Then it's all Edgerrin James, power and speed to the end zone.
Miami up 21-14. UCLA added a field goal, and that's where we stand right now. It's Miami 21, UCLA 17. We'll be back with more from the Orange Bowl right after this. Miami with a 21-17 lead over UCLA. Frank Fort, John Congemi with you on Sports Channel. And look at the numbers and just offensive fireworks all over the place.
Rushing yards, that's the key. Miami, great balance, 177 rushing and 128 passing.
And a quarterback comparison, both McNown and Covington having excellent first halves. McNown with a couple of touchdown passes, Scott with 1, and both completing a very high percentage.
They're both leading their teams and seeing the football field terrifically downfield.
We'll be back with the second half kickoff from the Orange Bowl right after this as Miami leads UCLA 21-17. Francis Hurricanes bouncing back from the debacle at Syracuse a week ago, and they're giving UCLA, the #2 team in the BCS poll, all they can handle. It's 21-17 at halftime. Both offenses have dominated. There was one punt in the first half, that by UCLA. There were no turnovers and only one fumble, which UCLA pounced back on, their offensive fumble, and it cost them a shot at a touchdown to tie the game. They had to settle for a field goal. Miami will get the ball to start the second half. Najee Davenport and Darryl Jones stand back at the goal line, awaiting Chris Saylor's kickoff. Frank Fort, John Congemi with you on Sports Channel as the Hurricanes close out the regular season. Again, this game postponed from back on September 26th by the threat of Hurricane George and rescheduled to December 5th, and Miami taking advantage of the extra time, their team maturing a little bit, although after last week you had to wonder how they would come out in this football game, John, mentally, because as I said, you know, where do you get your motivation from? Well, you're playing the #2 team in the country, all right? But Miami knows the Big East race is over. They know what bowl game they're going to. There's not a whole lot on the line for Miami today, but they've come out and played very hard in the first half, very determined, and played probably about as well as you could hope for them if you're for them to play if you're a Miami fan.
Well, I think you get your motivation when you look at yourself in the mirror. That wasn't the team that we've seen all season last week against Syracuse, and every player, I think, if they take a look at their own performance, they did not want to leave that trademark as 98 season playing against Syracuse. They have another chance to redeem themselves, and so far they've done an excellent job.
Saylor's kickoff with the win. Davenport 4 yards deep, does not have the momentum, and Darryl Jones wisely tells him to stay right there. Edgerrin James, with 173 yards rushing in the first half, now owns the Miami single-season rushing record. It was 1,226 yards set in 1978 by O.J. Anderson. James has 1,290. By rushing over 100 yards today, James now owns the UM career record for 100-yard performances with 14. And with 2 first-half rushing touchdowns, he now has 16 on the season. That breaks the Miami single-season record. So
good job, Edgerrin.
Having a huge day today. 22 carries for 173 yards in the first half. First down, 10 Canes from their 20. Fake to James. Covington on the square out, threw it too far for Andre King on the comeback route. It'll be 2nd and 10 Hurricanes. Well, John, big series to open the second half offensively and defensively. We'll see what adjustments the coaching staffs for both teams have made.
Yeah, that's true. And right now, Scott Covington, he desperately wanted to convert on first down to Andre King on the comeback because they've made Bob Toledo and that defensive staff has made some adjustments. You know, they're trying to tweak their defense a little bit to try to stop Edgerrin James. Scott Covington's going to have to move the ball through the air. 2nd and 10 Hurricanes. Covington has to readjust. Now go through progression and almost intercepted by Marquise Anderson. And now Santana Moss getting into it with one of the UCLA defensive players. Santee Hall, number 95. Well, that's something that hasn't happened all day long, is a chance for an interception. Covington's been perfect on the outside, but he has to recoil and go somewhere he didn't want to go with the football. This was an ad lib, and almost Marquise Anderson, who's been burned in the first half, came back and almost made the Canes pay. Should have caught the football. It would have been a huge turnover for the Bruins.
3 wide receivers in for Miami on 3rd and 10. Darryl Jones in motion. UCLA comes on the blitz, and down Covington goes. Coming on the blitz, Ramogi Huma, the backup middle linebacker, and that is the first sack of the day by either team.
Yeah, Huma gets in the backfield untouched right through the center guard gap. You see it just opened up perfectly for him. Scott Covington, that's not what he wanted to see as a quarterback as you're dropping back, as the Bruin lineman really gaining ground on you.
Here's the Crossland punt. Ryan Rock at the Miami 45. Rock trying to get to the outside. Rod Mack and now Delvin Brown bring him down. But UCLA has great field position at the Miami 34-yard line. So Bob Toledo's team right out of the box here in the second half. They have a great defensive series, a couple of incompletions and a sack, and now Miami is on their heels at the 34-yard line.
See, Frank, I don't know. I just have a gut feeling that this is a type of a carryover from that last series that Miami ended the first half with. They were very passive. They were aggressive all game up to that point. Now they come out, they try to make a throw on first down, incomplete. They get a bust up the middle on 3rd down. They get a sack of Covington, and now it's pinned on your defense, who hasn't really done a good job of stopping UCLA all day.
Deshaun Foster is the running back. Fletcher, the tight end, in motion. Foster with the handoff. Foster with a big hole. Foster trying to get to the outside.
He's gone.
Foster might score. Marquise Fitzgerald bumps him out at the Miami 8-yard line. A pickup of 26.
Foster comes right back and makes him pay on first down. That's the way Miami's offense wanted to start it, but now the Canes on defense have to try to find a way to keep UCLA out of the end zone, because right now on first down, they break a huge gain. Look at Foster cut right back against the grain, switches the football to the outside. Now it's a foot race. Leonard Myers trips, trying to prevent him from staying out of the end zone, and you see a blur, Marquise Fitzgerald knocking him out of bounds at the 8-yard line, but now the Canes have to try to find a way to stop UCLA.
First and goal for the Bruins. Foster and Willendi, the running backs. Farmer in motion. Foster runs right into Matt Sweeney as the Hurricanes came on the run blitz, and Matt Sweeney throws this play for a 6-yard loss.
Yeah, present before Christmas. Matt Sweeney just opened his arms, and Dan Morgan as well, and the running back goes right into the arms of Matt Sweeney. Nice pressure. They win the battle in the trenches up front. Miami, the defensive front, they're going to have to try to get to Cade McNown right now, but on that running play, you see him split the gap right there. The fullback's late trying to get to the line of scrimmage, and Matt Sweeney in the backfield for a tackle for his loss. That's a 7th tackle for loss.
From the 13-yard line, 2nd and goal. Neufeld in motion. McNown with the screen set up. Foster makes the catch. Edward Reed chasing him down, and Edward Reed will drop him for about a yard loss. Back close to the 15-yard line. Well, Edward Reed in the backfield, and that is not an unusual sight for Edward Reed, the free safety, to be in the backfield.
Yeah, but he was smart enough, Frank, to really feel the screen, because he was the only one on that outside, along with Dan Morgan, and had the speed to catch up to the screenplay. This was a perfect call by UCLA. Watch the pursuit. And number 20 out of the bottom of your screen, he sees the lineman set up, and he says, I'm the last guy back here that can stop this screen. Great read of the screen on Deshaun Foster by number 20, Edward Reed.
3rd and goal from the 14. McNown with time. Steps up, fires, end zone, touchdown, Farmer. From 14 yards out, Cade McNown to Danny Farmer, his 2nd touchdown reception of the day, and UCLA has the lead at 23-21 with the conversion upcoming.
No pressure on McNown. It's like a shooting gallery trying to find Danny Farmer down the middle. He's isolated on Delvin Brown, and once he gets into the secondary, Farmer just running to the open area, and he's got a cannon. Cade McNown just sat back in the middle of that pocket and drilled a strike for the Bruin touchdown.
Well, if you're going to second guess, John, they blitzed on the previous 2 plays, and then they sat back on that one as Saylor converts, and UCLA has the lead for the first time today at 24-21. 13 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. It's the Bruins 24, the Hurricanes 21. Quarter, the Bruins have their first lead of the day, 24-21. A great defensive series by UCLA to open the second half, a 3-and-out for the Hurricanes, and UCLA taken over after a punt at the Miami 34-yard line. They score 4 plays, 34 yards. Cade McNown with a 14-yard touchdown to Danny Farmer. The Canes blitzed on the first 2 plays and made positive plays for the defense, but they sat back in a 4-man rush on the 3rd and goal from the 14. And McNown with plenty of time and gave Farmer enough room to get open.
Yeah, he just threw a strike down the middle of the football field, and that's got to be frustrating for Butch Davis and that defensive team to give the football up to the Bruins with excellent field position after not being able to establish anything on their first 3 plays coming out of the halftime break. And now this offense must score. We talked about this at halftime. Miami is going to need more than 21 to win this football game, and they're going to get an opportunity to do it right now.
Saylor's kick will go in and out of the end zone, and Miami will take over on the 20. Saylor using that 16-mile-an-hour wind at his back. Now, Miami ran the ball impressively in the first half, but they come out in the first series of the second half and pass, incomplete, sack.
Yeah, they come out and they weren't successful on 3rd down, especially combating the pressure that the Bruins brought right up the middle of the football field. Now, Scott Covington jogging back into the huddle. I think they'll get back to Edgerrin James right now and see if he can hit him off tackle and bust him on the counterplay. That was very successful in the first half.
I don't disagree with throwing on 1st down, but then on the 2nd down play, I think you come back with Edgerrin, and he's your big gun. You got to use him. James on the stretch play. They grind a couple out of it. Tackle by Ken Kocher, backup defensive tackle from San Diego, a 6'4", 292-pound freshman. We talk about Miami's youth, and indeed they are young, as Greg Mark, the defensive line coach, talks it over with his guys. But you look at UCLA, a 10-0 team, they're too deep. They've got 8 seniors on their first 44.
Yeah, they're very young too, so they'll be back with a vengeance and finish out this year. I mean, this is a team that they're not ranked 2nd for nothing. They can play defense, although they've allowed a lot of yardage. They win with offense.
2nd and 8 for the Canes. Again, James Slipped the first tackle, but could not get by the second man, and that's only a gain of a yard. Number 95, Santee Hall, another freshman from Moreno Valley, making the tackle. That'll bring up 3rd and about 6 for Miami.
What made the Canes lethal in the first half, they were unpredictable. They had a great balance of run and pass. Just when you thought you had to load up to stop Edgerrin James, Scott Covington would go back and throw the football down the field. Now, the first 5 plays of this series of coming out in the second half, they've been very predictable.
3rd and 6, big 3rd down opportunity here for Miami. They need to move the football. UCLA showing blitz. Here they come. Miami picked it up, and Covington overthrew Santana Moss at the 32-yard line, and Santana was open. Ryan Rock had about a 4-yard cushion.
Well, that's the high ball he's been throwing in the first half, and in the first half, Andre King and Santana Moss got up to get the football. This time they just weren't tall enough and didn't have enough ability to go up and get the football. That was a nice route on the outside. Just a throw route by Santana Moss, but Scott Covington misses on 3rd down.
Yeah, he had plenty of time to throw. The Canes picked up the blitz well. Crossland to kick it away. Rock standing back at the UCLA 37. Fair catch signal. Flag down as Crossland was run into. Flag down back at the Miami 10-yard line. Rock made the fair catch at the UCLA 39. Now John Smith, our referee, signals running into the kicker. Now I don't know if that's going to be enough to give Miami a first down.
We're going to find out real quick. I'm not sure. I don't think that will be a penalty that'll give them the first down.
Here's our referee, John Smith Jr. It is a Big East crew today here at the Orange Bowl. And he's signaling, hey, I want a captain. Tell me what you want. So if it's only a 5-yard penalty, it'd bring up a 4th and 1.
Right. Looks like
they're going to bring it back, mark the penalty off.
Yeah, it looks like the special teams, the punt unit, going back onto the football field for the Canes.
Bob Toledo says, what's the call?
Yeah, and who's it on? We're going to find out who it's on right now.
Running into the kicker, return team. It's a 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, that's a 5.
It remains.
It's number 27, Todd McBride,
yeah,
backup
the free safety, right.
That's a 5. That's not a 15. So it's 4th and 1. And Rock standing back at the 34 of UCLA. 11 minutes, 40 seconds left to go, 3rd quarter. UCLA with the lead for the first time today at 24-21. Crossland under no pressure, and a terrible kick. Shanked it off the side of his foot. It's going to bounce at the 39 and down right there. So Miami gives up 5 yards. UCLA had it at the 34 after the first kick. Horrible punt by Crossland, who has done a pretty good job punting the football this year, averaging 40.6 per kick, with 12 of them inside the 20. But UCLA will start 1st and 10 from their 39-yard line. And right now, John, you know Miami's defense has got to come up with a stop or at least hold UCLA to a field goal, because if UCLA goes in for a touchdown, then the Big M momentum swings on their side and they're up by 10.
That's right.
From the 39, Farmer in motion. Fake to Foster on the rollout. McNown throwing deep down the field, wide open, caught, and this is going to be a UCLA touchdown for Brian Poley-Dixon as he beat Nick Ward.
Frank, Miami's been a step away from Cade McNown all afternoon, and this time they make him pay. Down the football field, an easy touchdown play, really running untouched is number 82, Poley-Dixon. Watch the play of the quarterback, though. He holds this ball until the last possible second. He knows he's got his man wide open down the middle of the field. He steps up and gets rid of it. Did you see the patience on him? He knew he had to get rid of it with authority and with a little bit of a quickness. So he got up into the air, really didn't even set his feet, and threw the football down the field to a wide open Poley-Dixon for a UCLA touchdown.
3.5 minutes into the second half, and UCLA has put 2 touchdowns on the board as Saylor's conversion kick is good. And with 11:23 left to go in the 3rd quarter, UCLA now up 10 at 31-21. Another look at Brian Poley-Dixon as he runs by Nick Ward, and the Bruins lead it by 10. We'll be back on Sports Channel right after this.
Get lucky at Hollywood Seminole Gaming. Hollywood Seminole Gaming in the heart of Broward County brings Vegas to your backyard. Every day, 24 hours a day and 364 days a year. You can play poker or take a free lesson. And we have 4 sessions of bingo every day. There's tons of cash and prizes to be won. Stop by Hollywood Seminole Gaming today. Feeling lucky?
I'd like a wireless phone.
Come here. Free phone if you sign up today, plus a zillion free minutes. Off-peak only, after a monthly service charge, which I change it will.
Sign here. What's this?
You're indebted to me forever, yada, yada, yada.
A contract?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
At OmniPoint, we have no contract to sign and no hidden charges. So there's nothing to be afraid of.
Look, I'm gonna let you keep your firstborn.
OmniPoint. Clear sound, straight deal.
For custom-tailored wireless, call 1-800-BUY-OMNI.
Dilbert for Office Depot.
Our newest fad policy is to have subordinates appraise their boss's job performance.
I give you a D-.
Did I mention retribution?
Careful, sir. You're hanging by a thread.
For A-plus technology at guaranteed low prices, come to Office Depot. Over 600 convenient locations for computers and everything that goes with them. Hardware, software, printers, and more. Business is crazy, but Office Depot makes sense.
Lightning strikes twice for the UCLA Bruins. 2 quick touchdowns to open the second half, and the Miami defense reeling shades of Syracuse last week. Sports Channel Florida is reliving the 1998 baseball season with memorable games from the Marlins and Devil Rays. Tune in Monday night for a replay as the Marlins rally to defeat Greg Maddux and the Braves on July 11th. The encore presentation starts at 7 p.m. right here on Sports Channel. Well, Miami was up 21-17 at the half, and they received the second half kickoff. They go 3 and out. UCLA scores from 34 yards after a short punt, and then Miami again cannot move the football. And they, on one play, Cade McNown to Brian Poley-Dixon. McNown's 3rd touchdown pass, 2nd touchdown reception for Poley-Dixon. And all of a sudden, just like that, John, UCLA's up 10.
Well, that's what they've done all season on offense. UCLA can put points on the scoreboard. The 20-game winning streak and the average of 27 points, or at least 27 points a game, they can score points, and it's up to Miami's offense to really catch up with them. And you see there, one play, 61 yards to Poley-Dixon for the touchdown.
Saylor's kick, again with the wind at his back, and that'll be a touchback for the 3rd time. And Miami will start 1st and 10 at the 20. Well, in the second half, Miami hasn't made any plays, and UCLA has.
And that's a guy right there that's going to have to make plays in the second half, and right now is Scott Covington. He's going to have to do it with his arm. They can't give up on running the football, though. Edgerrin James was an integral part of the first half of the success for Miami. I just don't like what they've done offensively. The crowd got out of the game, and just the way they ended the first half, it's a carryover the second half.
Don't think they managed the clock very well at the end of the first half. They were trying to be conservative and avoid a turnover, but they got themselves in scoring position. Here's Edgerrin James, who had a huge first half, gets only 2 yards there. Ryan Neese and Santee Hall making the tackle for UCLA. 2nd and 8 upcoming for the Hurricanes. And it just seems, John, like the life has gone out of this football team and the crowd.
Yeah, really, the crowd not into the football game. They have really no reason to be right now. 31-21, UCLA comes out with 2 big strikes. But this offensive line has to regain the composure they had in the first half and the aggressiveness they had in the first half. They were really dominating the line of scrimmage.
2nd and a long 8 for Miami. And there's a false start. Well, things are going from bad to worse right now.
Well, it's
dead ball, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
It's time for Scott Covington to get into that huddle, as you see Gonzalez jumping the right tackle. But it's time for Scott Covington to get into that huddle and say, guys, listen, we're still in this football game. Just hold your composure. Let's do what we did in the first half, because we had success against this Bruin defense. Now, UCLA, they're coming out and they're gambling a little bit. They're showing a lot of pressure up front. Could be a big play for Miami.
On 2nd and 13, James. James across the 20. James still going, shoved out of bounds. Let's see where they mark it. Santee Hall making the tackle up at the 28-yard line. So that picks up most of the yardage back, and it's only 2 yards now to go for a 1st down. It'll be 3rd and 2 for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, with that pressure that UCLA is bringing up front, Edgerrin James, if he breaks a tackle, he's into the secondary with maybe one man to beat to keep him out of the end zone. He just ran out of real estate on that play, but Edgerrin James put his head down, waited for his blocking. That's what he did in the first half.
Critical that Miami pick up a 1st down here and at least get something going. Motion from King. Watch out for the short side toss. Here it comes again, and it's going to be wide open for Edgerrin James. Just shoved at the last moment by Marquise Anderson out of bounds at the Miami 38-yard line, but that's enough for a first down as he gained 10.
Well, it's clear that UCLA at halftime, they're going to dedicate 8 and 9 people to the line of scrimmage to try to stop Edgerrin James and really try to win the game man-to-man on the outside. It might not be a bad thing on first down for Scott Covington to really gamble and go downfield, but right now on 3rd and 2, they get a great block on the outside again by number 84, Andre King, that really enables Edgerrin James to get to the outside and get the first down. But if they show man coverage again with 8 and 9 people in the box, Scott Covington could go up top for a big play.
Darrell Jones and Aaron Mosier, the wide receivers now. Williams and James, the running backs, on 1st and 10. Counter play to James. Good block from Williams. James will just get about a yard as he's ushered out of bounds by Ramogi Huma, backup middle linebacker, number 36, out of Covina, California. 2nd and 9 upcoming for Miami. 10 minutes, 20 seconds left to go, 3rd quarter. This UCLA team, the offense is just so explosive, John. If you give them enough opportunities, they're going to score. As we mentioned, in the 20-game winning streak, their lowest point total has been 27. They have been held, their lowest total this season is 28, and that happened on 2 occasions. Other than that, they've always been over 30, and a lot of times in the 40s and even 50s. 2nd and long for Miami. Again, James. James trying to turn the corner. Stiff arms Anderson, who manages to drag him down by the collar after a pickup of about 4. Will bring up another 3rd down for Miami, 3rd and about 5.
Anderson's done a nice job coming out of the locker room. He almost had the interception on the botched play a couple series ago by Scott Covington. This time, a nice open field tackle of Edgerrin James. This doesn't happen much to Edgerrin James. Once he gets to the outside, he can make this usually the first man miss. That time he just gets his left hand on the back of the shoulder pads of Edgerrin James and brings him down.
Miami has to reach close to their 48-yard line to get a first down. UCLA blitzing. Covington
got it wide open. Oh, down the middle of the football field.
And you mentioned it, incomplete as Covington under pressure. Bubba Franks, the tight end, came wide open in the middle. Ryan Rock had the coverage. But Scott just simply didn't have enough time to locate Franks down the field.
What happened, he didn't have enough time to go through his play fake and get in the right position to see him. He's outside the pocket right now, and he didn't look down the football field because of the situation, 3rd and 5. He wanted to get the ball to the outside, and that happens. He just missed the play.
Bubba Franks was wide open behind Atkins, the safety. Here's Crossland's punt. Rock saying get out of the way, and this one will roll dead inside the UCLA 15-yard line as Nate Brooks downs it at about the 13, and that's where the Bruins will start 1st and 10. 9 minutes, 24 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter, and UCLA has taken control of this game at 31-21 with a couple of quick touchdowns here in the 2nd half. And if Miami's to stay in this game, John, it's imperative that the defense come up with a stop here.
Well, they have to go 3 plays and out, or at least make UCLA earn what they get on this series.
An Ibis Beanie doll. What a great holiday gift. You can get yours today with a $10 donation to support student athletes. Call 305-284-6699 for more information. 1st and 10, UCLA at their 16-yard line. Fletcher, the tight end, in motion. Fake to the running back. McNown loads up and goes deep again. This time, Fitzgerald had great coverage on Coley Dixon, and Fitzgerald was closer to the football than was the Bruins receiver.
Yeah, that time, nice positioning by the secondary, and you called it Fitzgerald, number 27. Marquise did a nice job not going for the play fake, staying patient, staying right where he should be in the defensive secondary, and was in right spot at the right time. That's what Miami needs to do defensively. Make them earn it. Don't give UCLA easy gains and big chunks of yardage going down the field. You see a lot of people inside that box, but number 27, he was wiser than Cade McNown on that particular play.
Foster and Wallendy, the running backs, on the option. Foster. And Quincy Hips could not get him. Foster still dancing around. Now Hips gets a second shot at him, and Quincy Hips and company will drop Deshaun Foster for almost a 6-yard loss.
I think the Canes on the option play, they can take away Cade McNown because he's not the threat to run the football. He's really just, it's another way for UCLA to get the football outside on a toss. So they're trying to let Cade McNown run the football because they're not even paying attention to him. They're concentrating on the pitch back. And watch the defensive speed here by the University of Miami. There's at least 4 or 5 or 6 people around the football, and that'll get Miami, get him back into the football game.
Quincy Hips got a piece of the tackle, but credit Matt Sweeney for the initial contact. Number 98. 3rd and 16 for UCLA. Out of the shotgun. Miami shows blitz. And a quick kick by McNown, flagged down Canes were offside, but I think UCLA may take this, as McNown's quick kick will be down to the 37-yard line of Miami. Miami was showing blitz, and Chevin Marshall, one of the other linebackers, stepping up into the...
Looked like Edward Reed coming in on a blitz, trying to anticipate the snap count. That's something you don't want to do. And I know Butch Davis and that defensive staff is not happy because of what happened as a result, the quick kick.
Well, now you go from 3rd and 16 to 3rd and 9, and you give UCLA a reasonable shot at a first down. Although it was a terrific quick kick. 53 yards on the McNown punt. So he can do it all. And they're going to bring the ball back. March off 5 against Miami and bring up a 3rd and 9.
Offsides against the defense. 5-yard penalty for the previous spot. Remains 3rd down.
Hey, John, this is the kind of thing you can't do. They're giving you the football on a quick kick, and you give them another crack with a silly penalty.
You give it right back, and now you give one of the most talented quarterbacks in the nation, along with some great wide receivers, an opportunity to convert on 3rd and 11.
3 wide receivers in the set. Again out of the shotgun. Miami again shows blitz. Here they come. Picked up well by the Bruins. McNown now under pressure. McNown running out of the pocket, waving people downfield, trying to get it down to Larry Farmer, and he almost made the catch. Leonard Myers was in good coverage, but Farmer got physical with him.
And he fell down, really. Leonard Myers looked like he fell down. And give credit again to Cade McNown. He kept the play alive. He gave his receivers an opportunity to find some room downfield. Great pressure by Miami on the blitz. You see 20, Reed, and 41. Marshall trying to create some pressure coming up the football field. They flush Cade McNown again to his left, which is okay with him because he can still see the football field. He's trying to wave Danny Farmer down the field. Watch 22, Myers. It looks like he just falls down. It's almost a completion, but number 24, Delvin Brown, comes over and breaks it up for the Canes.
Chris Saylor to kick. Santana Moss standing deep. Saylor end-over-end kick. Takes a good UCLA hop and is going to roll dead at the Miami 20-yard line, just inside the 20. Well, you had to anticipate a better punt than that with the wind at Saylor's back. But Santana Moss simply could not come up quickly enough to make the catch on the run, and probably cost Miami about 25 yards. Canes will start 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. So an important stop for the Miami defense. 65 yards on the kick by Chris Saylor. About 30 of those on the ground.
Yeah, unfortunately, it went away from number 6, Santana Moss. The ball was kicked to his right, and he couldn't make a play on it.
Miami will start 1st and 10 at their 20. 8 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Canes trail it 31-21. James on the stretch play. Edgerrin breaks loose. Edgerrin to the 30. Still going and tripped up. Down at the 37-yard line, he gained 17. Larry Atkins just got a piece of him at the last moment, or Edgerrin might have been gone to the house.
That's the aggressiveness Miami had in the beginning of the football game. That's the way Edgerrin James made the first player miss again. He does this a lot. Watch him in the backfield. He takes a deep handoff, and he's following Bubba Franks. He makes the first person miss, was his Jason Stevens, number 4, the strong safety. Keeps his balance and goes down the Miami sideline for a first down.
First down Miami as you look at James, 30 carries, 223 yards. From the 38 on first down. Counter play to James. Good block from Bubba Franks. James to the 40 and dragged down from behind. That's a saving tackle by Marquise Anderson, or James definitely would have had a first down, and as it is, a gain of 5.
You said it, another big tackle by Anderson, number 7, the cornerback. That's 2 in a row on James in the open field in exactly the same way. Gets him down by the back of the shoulder pads. Watch Bubba Franks right there, making him turn the corner. And a nice effort by Santana Moss, but he just couldn't hold the block long enough, and that allowed Marquise Anderson to come around the backside of James, but not until he gains 5 yards.
2nd and 5 for Miami. Double tight end to the top of the screen. Covington, 3-step drop. Quick look in to Andre King, completed the 50 and nearly got away from Anderson at the UCLA 48. Marquise Anderson making the tackle, but not until Andre King picked up 9 and a Miami first down.
Yeah, Covington, a nice job on the audible. It was almost like Black 91. Do you hear me, Andre? Quick hitch on the outside. 3-step drop. The linemen do a good job of pass protection. And King almost escapes to the outside. A nice tackle again by Anderson, number 7. He's having a big second half for the Bruins, but Miami getting back and getting some rhythm on offense.
Jones and Mosier now the receivers to the top of the screen. James across midfield, and that time Tony White drilled him right at the line of scrimmage. Well, hesitation that time by Edgerrin, and it cost him.
Yeah, you can do that on the defensive backs, but that time Tony White had a squared up number 51. He's 6'1", 220 pounds. He's a linebacker. He says, if you stop on me, I'm going to make you readjust, and I'm going to readjust you once I get you down on the ground. A nice aggressive play by the Bruin linebacker.
No gain, 2nd and 10 for Miami with 6 minutes to go third quarter. UCLA with a 31-21 lead. Aaron Mosier remains in the game at wide receiver along with Santana Moss. Nick Williams in motion. Fake toss pitch. Going deep for Mosier and overthrows him at the 20-yard line. Ryan Rock had the coverage, and it'll bring up 3rd and 10 for Miami.
I like Miami taking a shot there. Just a nice move on the line of scrimmage by Aaron Mosier. Just didn't have the speed to catch up with the football. The ball was overthrown, but Aaron trying to go all out to get the football. Big play. Could have been a big play for Miami there. I like the call on 2nd down.
Aaron Mosier, the Big East decathlon champion, had his first career touchdown in the first half today. 3rd and 10 for Miami. UCLA comes on the blitz. Good pickup by James. Andre King open, makes the catch, and is down to the UCLA 20-yard line. Marcus Anderson made the tackle, but Andre King with a huge catch as Miami did a good job picking up the blitz up the middle.
Give credit to that offensive line. They picked up the blitz, gave Scott Covington enough time to put some touch on the football. He put some air on this one. Watch the offensive line, and Edgerrin James steps up and gives Covington enough time to just float the football down the numbers, and King goes and gets the football before Marquise Anderson, the cornerback for the Bruins, can catch it. The ground causes the ball to come out, but Edgerrin does a nice job stepping up and handling the blitz. Miami converts on 3rd and 10.
1st and 10 from the Bruin 20. 2 tight ends in the game. It's Fulcher in motion. And they give to James on a trap play. James moves the pile about 3 yards for a first down. Anthony Fletcher, number 96, making the tackle for UCLA. 2nd and 7 Miami, coming up on 5 minutes to go third quarter.
Big series for this offense, and Edgerrin James, as you look at him getting back into the huddle, they have to get in for a touchdown. They can't settle for a field goal right now. They could really break the momentum that UCLA had. They've had the ball now. They did a nice job of moving it down from their own 20-yard line. They need to stick it in the end zone now.
2nd and 8 for the Hurricanes. 3 wide receivers in, no fullback. James the only running back. Covington.
Man coverage in the screen. Covington's got to run with it.
Covington running, gets away at the 15 and skips out of bounds at about the 14-yard line. So Covington makes a positive out of it. Ryan Neese runs him out of bounds. Scott did pick up 6.
Yeah, man coverage, probably the worst play you could have called. Just lucky for the Bruins that they lock on Edgerrin James, because if he escapes, there's nobody there for him. The Bruin linebacker stayed at home, but we'll look at the ability of Covington of losing Tony White in the backfield, then making a good play out of a bad play.
3rd down and about 4 for Miami. They have to get to the UCLA 10. Standard eye set for the Canes. Offset eye. Nick Williams to the strong side of the formation. Jones in motion. Covington. Blitz is picked up. Covington over the middle and incomplete as he was looking for Bubba Franks, his tight end. Although it looked like Darrell Jones was open on the crossing route underneath.
It was the same play they ran against West Virginia for the touchdown. It was zone coverage, so Darrell Jones actually stopped, and when Covington was still looking downfield, he turned his back on his quarterback and tried to make something happen, and that's when Covington went and tried to deliver the football to Jones. Just a miscommunication by quarterback and receiver, and it ends up in a 4th down.
32-yard field goal try upcoming for Andy Crossland. Popovich will hold. Good snap from Delvecchio. Kick from Crossland is no good. He misses from 32 yards out. With 4 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in the third quarter. That is just a tragic, tragic occurrence for Miami. A chance to get back within 7 and a big miss from Andy Crossland, who's 7 out of 10 this year on field goals.
And all you have to do is look at either sideline. The Bruins celebrating and Miami walking off the field dejected. This ball never had a chance. Oh. It was right the entire way. And Crossland just pulls the kick to his right, and that's just dejecting for this offense because they came down the football field. They wanted to get a touchdown, and right away you see Jeff Popovich walking away and Crossland trying to beg it to come back to his left, but he can't believe he missed the chip shot.
Sports Channel is your home for NFL football Florida style. Tune in every Sunday for 90 minutes of in-depth pregame coverage on the Dolphins, Buccaneers, and Jaguars. It's all on Sunday Morning NFL every Sunday at 10 a.m. exclusively on Sports Channel Florida. Well, Miami moved the ball smartly down the field, but stalled at the UCLA 14-yard line, and then Crossland missing a 32-yard field goal into the wind. And that's the kind of thing that's going to kill you, John.
Well, it just deflates the team. Edgerrin James and Scott Covington and Andre King and Santana Moss, the offensive line, they did a nice job of really selling out to get themselves in a position to get back into this game. Yes, they wanted a touchdown, but they desperately wanted to come out of this drive with some points, and Butch Davis and staff have to ask their defense again to come up big and get that ball back, maybe create a turnover and shorten this field for the offense.
Look at the attendance today, 46,819 at the Orange Bowl on a sunny December day. And the Hurricanes led at halftime 21-17, but just haven't found the right formula here in the third quarter, as UCLA came out and scored 2 early touchdowns to grab a 10-point lead. Art Kehoe talking it over with his offensive line, Rich Mercier. Guys have done a terrific job today, especially in the running game.
Yeah, they really have. They've dominated in the first half, the line of scrimmage. First couple series of the second half, UCLA brought a lot of pressure, brought 8 and 9 people in the box, and maybe confused Miami for a bit, but on that series, they got back to what they did successfully in the first half, and that was using Edgerrin James to the short side, mixing in the passing of Scott Covington.
All right, stop at Joe's, pick up stone crabs.
That's right.
A couple of key lime pies. 1st and 10, UCLA at their 20. Farmer in motion. To give to Jermaine Lewis, the little scat back, and Lewis gets about 4. Michael Smith on the tackle for the Hurricanes. Jermaine Lewis, only 5'7", 180 pounds, from Lancaster, California. Look at these UCLA tailbacks, John. Jermaine Lewis has 11 touchdowns, Deshaun Foster 10, and Keith Brown 6. That tells you how they pile it up.
Yeah, they're not bashful of spreading it around, because the wide receivers also, Poley Dixon has 8 touchdowns, Danny Farmer has 6. Cade McNown spreading the football around.
2nd and 6 for UCLA, 3:48 to go third quarter. Lewis on a trap play, has some room. Jermaine Lewis moves by Edward Reed, and finally Michael Smith makes the tackle up at the 41-yard line, but a gain of 16.
Mike Grebe, the tight end, came and pulled and did a nice job of walling off Danny Morgan, number 44. Morgan trying to come up the field. Watch the tight end right underneath. He provides the block that springs his running back into the open field, and he knows what to do when he gets into the secondary. Jermaine Lewis, very aggressive runner going north and south. A big play for the Bruins on offense.
1st and 10, UCLA at their 41. Again, Grebe in motion. Again, the give to Lewis. And picks up 4 to the 45. Damian Lewis making the tackle for the Hurricanes. John, UCLA in the second half, Miami scored 3 of the 4 times they had the ball in the first half. The only time they didn't score was when the half ran out. But in the second half, Miami's had 3 possessions, and they've come up with nothing, including a missed field goal from Andy Crossland.
Yeah, defensively, they have to find a way to get the football back from Cade McNown, because right now they're mixing in the run, something they didn't do. They lived on the big play in the first half.
Grebe, the tight end, again in motion. Lewis picks up about 2, flag down in the middle of the pile. Derek Ham making the tackle. And this would appear to be holding on UCLA.
Yeah, it's always a good sign in the middle of the football field when you see a flag and you're on defense.
Well, John Smith does indeed signal holding. And they'll march off 10 against UCLA. It will replay 2nd down with 2 minutes and 37 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Well, John, should UCLA go on and win this game, they would likely play for the national championship. But I think for Miami, it certainly, the first half especially, was a very positive step coming out of last week. You really wondered.
Holding offense, 10 yards, assessed from the
You really wondered how Miami would go.
Second down.
Okay, John, thank you. Let's take a look at number 60. I think that's who picked up the holding call. Yeah, it's kind of a tackle on Damian Lewis.
Yeah, he tried.
52. Looked like 52. Sean Stewart, the center.
Stewart started about at the hip of Lewis and worked all the way down to his ankle, and that was the call.
Second down for UCLA. Second and 14. McNown on the rollout, screen back the other way. Wide open is Foster. Foster trying to dance around
great play.
Myers, and Myers makes the play and holds it to about a 4-yard gain.
That's about as good as you can play the screen as a cornerback. Leonard Myers must have felt helpless. He saw 3 big offensive linemen coming out with no one in front except for number 22 trying to stop it. Left-hand side of your screen. UCLA has really run the screen successfully today. This time they get Miami in a perfect position. They have a couple linemen out in front, and look at the backpedaling. That's what does it. Myers uses his athletic ability, his speed and quickness to get away from the offensive lineman and brings the UCLA Bruin down to the Orange Bowl grass.
Here's that bunch formation with 3 wide receivers to the bottom of the screen. Miami on a blitz. McNown trying to get outside.
Wide open.
McNown throwing deep down the sideline. Wide open Melsby. And Brad Melsby has a UCLA touchdown. Beating Leonard Myers deep, and Miami gives up another big play.
Well, Farmer has done it. Polly Dixon has done it. Add Brad Melsby, number 83 to the list of Bruins that have gotten deep against this secondary of the University of Miami. And again, credit Cade McNown, flushing him to his left. He's left-handed. You don't want to do that. He actually moves the pocket. A nice collapse by the Bruin offensive line. They really give him plenty of time to pick out a receiver. He didn't know really who to throw it. Everybody was open down the middle of the football field. He elects to go to his left side and finds Brad Melsby for his 2nd touchdown on the season.
Saylor will try the extra point. And it is good. And with a minute 28 to go, 3rd quarter, UCLA has now stretched their lead out to 38-21, a 17-point margin. They've scored 3 touchdowns here in the 3rd quarter.
And it's really done by the offensive line. That's the way they start. They collapse. Miami inside. Danny Farmer was open down the middle, but as you saw, Cade McNown goes to Melsby on the outside. A perfect pass and catch. Cade McNown really throws a perfect ball, and you see there Bob Toledo going, great call, guys. Way to go. We got him deep again.
From a Miami standpoint, though, John, you know that McNown likes to roll and waggle. You know, they're blitzing everybody up the middle, which is fine, but then you don't have anybody on an outside contain on that particular play.
Well, I think they had containment, but you have to credit Ferris and Kareba and Stewart, Myers and Podiak, and along with Mike Reed, the tight end, they really collapsed the side. That's called a dash when you want to have the interpretation from the defensive side that you're going to drop straight back, but then you move the pocket intentionally, and they walled down the entire Miami defensive front.
And then Danny Farmer, and he was open as well as he ran right by Edward Reed.
Yeah, down the middle of the field. You saw Cade McNown adjust his feet. He said, well, you've already caught one. Let me go outside to Brad Melsby and try him on Leonard Myers, and it was successful.
And Saylor to kick off again. Just a disastrous 3rd quarter for the Hurricanes. They led it by 4 at halftime. And again, Miami will have to start at their own 20-yard line after the touchback on the kickoff. So Miami put together one really good half, but they look a bit dispirited here in the 3rd quarter, a bit disheartened. Certainly UCLA, the more talented team, the deeper team, and the number 2 team in the country. 5 plays, 80 yards, 59 of them to Brad Melsby for the touchdown. Took up 2 minutes and 52 seconds.
Well, UCLA can make you pay and pay for touchdowns with the big play. They've had a number of plays over 20 and 30 yards today, all resulting in touchdowns.
Just huge plays by Cade McNown. And you said it, John, Miami's been a step away all day from sacking him. On 1st and 10, James. Bust through, picks up 7 yards to the 27-yard line. Larry Atkins and Jason Stevens, the safeties, combining on the tackle. And limping off the field, Micah Webb, number 77 for the Bruins. It'll be 2nd and 3 for the Hurricanes. You see Micah Webb, sophomore out of Turlock, California, being assisted to the Bruins sideline. Miami playing this game without Nate Webster, their middle linebacker, without Reggie Wayne, their best receiver, and without number 2 tailback, James Jackson. A hamstring injury for Jackson. On 2nd and short, James tried to skip to the outside, got away from one, got away from Anderson. And Stevens finally drags him down at the 40-yard line of Miami. Well, win, lose, or draw, Edgerrin James can hold his head high today.
Well, great individual effort that time, trying to go off the left tackle. Really, the Bruins were in the perfect position to stop Edgerrin James on 2nd and 3. But he was determined to get this first down. He's following Nick Williams to the outside. You see a couple Bruins miss deep in the backfield. Then Marquise Anderson misses again, and he goes down the football field for a first down. That's just terrific individual effort by number 5, Edgerrin James.
Mark it at the 41-yard line. Pickup of 14 on the last play for Edgerrin James. Mondrell Fulcher in motion. James, big
huge hole.
James to the 50. James trying to outrun Jason Bell, and Bell will shove him out of bounds at the UCLA 23-yard line. But Edgerrin James now up over 200 yards on the day.
Yeah, get Najee Davenport in there because that's a tired workhorse. Edgerrin James, just a huge hole. Credit the offensive line, the left side. Hall, Mercier, and Wise, they do a terrific job along with Bubba Franks kicking out. And James in the open field knows how to make you pay. And the crowd really appreciates what he's done. Number 5, a spectacular run. Just breaks through with great speed. He's such a big back, and you think he's a powerful back, but when he gets in the open field, he has breakaway speed as well.
36 yards for James. He takes a break. Najee Davenport in. It's Davenport with the football. Davenport breaks away from one. Najee down the sideline. Najee Davenport, touchdown.
He's in.
Touchdown Miami. Najee Davenport from 24 yards away, and the Hurricanes put their 4th touchdown of the day on the board.
Just a terrific effort, and really tiptoeing down the sideline. They finally do give him the touchdown. Only one referee was convinced that he actually scored. But Najee really breaking another tackle, just like Edgerrin James does in his own backfield, then turns it upfield. He tiptoes the end line, and take a look right there. He tried to get the football over the pylon.
I guess the pylon got in because his foot didn't get inside.
That's right, and the ball was outside the pylon, but they give it to him anyway. Edgerrin James goes in for the touchdown.
Najee Davenport
in for the touchdown.
With his 6th touchdown of the season, the freshman from Miami Central High School. By the way, Edgerrin James has a new career high, 274 yards, 280, what is that, 81? 88 yards. Hit by Crossland is good. And another look at Najee Davenport.
Frank, it really didn't look like there was anything there because number 51, Tony White, was trying to get into the backfield, but then Najee showed you his speed and great balance on the outside, never stepping out of bounds. Let's see if he actually gets in the end zone. I don't think so.
No, that's not a touchdown.
We'll take it anyway at this point to make it 38-28, make it a 10-point game.
With 18 seconds left to go 3rd quarter, Najee Davenport with his 6th touchdown of the year. Edgerrin James, let me reiterate, 288 yards. That breaks his own single-game record of 271 set last season against Boston College.
Yeah, and Edgerrin James and Najee Davenport, both big backs. You see Edgerrin breaking his own record. Another guy that's broke his own record, or actually tied it, was McNown for UCLA. 5 touchdowns today, ties his single game record, and he set it once this year already.
18 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. Bruins 38, Hurricanes 28. It's not over yet, but this Miami defense has to do something to slow down UCLA. There's the Hurricane drive, another long one, 80 yards in 4 plays. The Hurricane touchdown drives this afternoon have all been at least 80 yards. Ryan Rock back to receive for UCLA along with Jermaine Lewis.
Well, this is the team right here, Frank, that has really made you nervous, the kickoff cover team.
Yeah, no question about it. And kicking against the wind, they'll pooch it up high once again. Fletcher makes the catch, and Mike Rumpf takes him down right there at the 29-yard line. John, we were wondering at halftime, Mike Rumpf's played on special teams, but he didn't play last week at Syracuse defensively from scrimmage, and hasn't played this week, as Miami has chosen to go with Nate Brooks and Nick Ward instead of Mike Rumpf, who had 2 starts earlier in the year. And here's a guy with size at 6'2", that, you know, maybe have a better chance against these UCLA receivers.
You would think that would be an option for Butch Davis and that defensive staff of maybe inserting Mike Rumpf into the cornerback position, because right now Ward and Brooks and Myers and Delvin Brown and all of them, Al Blades, Edward Reed, they've all been beaten deep.
From the 29 on 1st down, Keith Brown. Brown trying to get away from Edward Reed, who has a hold of his shirt, and then Mike Smith arrives to help bring him down, and it's a pickup of about 3 or 4. Well, thank goodness they don't use tearaway jerseys anymore.
That's right.
Do you remember those things back in the 70s? Those were awful.
Still see Tony Dorsett ripping off about 4 or 5 jerseys going into the end zone.
That is the end of the third quarter. At the end of 3, it's UCLA 38, Miami 28. Back with the fourth quarter on Sports Channel after this. Miami trailing UCLA 38-28. Frank Fort and John Congemi, and thrilled to be joined in the booth right now by Dwight Stevenson, the newest member of the Hall of Fame from the Miami Dolphins. And he is the game chairman of the Micron PC Bowl. Always great to see you. You've already invited the Miami Hurricanes and the North Carolina State Wolfpack to your game. And, you know, Miami's come out and played a real strong game today against a great football team. You must be thrilled about the matchup you're going to have.
Absolutely. I mean, the Miami Hurricanes playing a great game here and an exciting game. And we're looking forward to having them at Pro Player Stadium there.
How much does it help having a local team involved in the game? Well, we'll get to it right after this play.
Okay.
It's a 2nd and 6 for UCLA at the 33-yard line of the Bruins. Pete Brown, the only running back. Fake to Brown. McNown with plenty of time. Over the middle, wide open, Polly Dixon in Miami territory. Polly Dixon spins out of Edward Reed's tackle. Polly Dixon fumbles a football, and Miami's got it. Al Blades comes up with the football after a big play from Brian Polly Dixon.
Well, we were talking about the big plays for UCLA during the break and how they were breaking Miami's back. Well, this time it pays off in Miami's fortune. Just determined to get the football. They found a way to get the football away from Polly Dixon. He's 6'5", 205. And really, it looks like Miami just busts the coverage. He's coming from the right-hand side of your screen again. McNown, with great time and protection, just lets him clear Al Blades and delivers a strike down the field. Now, Polly Dixon is going to try to make Edward Reed pay, but right there as he's trying to switch the football, he loses it, and Al Blades, number 7 for the Hurricanes, the right man in the right spot, picks up the loose ball.
All right, let's get back to Dwight. How much does it help having a local team in the bowl game?
It does. I mean, University of Miami has had great tradition, and they've always been able to bring a lot of fans and put them in the stands, so we're looking forward to having them there.
1st and 10 Hurricanes at their 14-yard line after the turnover. Najee Davenport across the 15 to the 17-yard line. Picks up about 3 or 4. Dwight, just tell us about some of the other activities you're going to have going on in conjunction with the bowl game.
We're going to have a beach party, of course, showing everybody how nice the beaches are that time of the year. And then we're going to have banquets for the players and, welcome them back and bringing the players down here so that they can see South Florida. And some other activities.
14-20 to go, fourth quarter. Miami down 10. They have the football, 2nd and 7. Give to Davenport, following Nick Williams. Davenport to the 20, still on his feet, ushered out of bounds at about the 23 or 24, and should have enough for a Miami first down. Dwight, it's kind of ironic that a Big East team is coming to your bowl game because the actual affiliation with the Big East ended in last offseason, but you didn't have a 6th Big Ten team qualify with 6 wins, so then the options come down to any team at large. Is that the case?
That's the way it happened. And again, like I said, we feel very, very fortunate to get the University of Miami here. They're playing an exciting game here today and stand a real good chance of winning this ball game. We're just very, very happy with that.
We'll give you that ticket information once again after this play. 1st and 10 for the Canes. Davenport remains in at tailback. And Najee has the football and lost it. And I think he got back on it. Yeah, it is 2nd down. Miami retains the football. Davenport making the recovery of his own bobble. Dwight, as game chairman, what are your responsibilities?
Well, I was supposed to help make the team selection and then do certain events like welcoming the team to South Florida and being a part of all the activities during that week leading up to the bowl game.
If we can get off the bowl for just a second, I'm going to ask you about your induction into the Hall of Fame after this 2nd and 9 play for the Hurricanes.
Pressure again, Frank, man coverage.
Larry Atkins, the safety, moving up on the line of scrimmage. They give it to Davenport. And Davenport tripped up and gets out to the 39-yard line, picked up about 4. It'll bring up 3rd and 5 for Miami. Atkins credited with the tackle. Dwight, obviously your career was cut short, but you played enough in the league, just a little bit short of a decade, to where you were recognized. And just tell me what that day was like in Canton, Ohio for you.
That day was just a day that I never expected to experience, but being there and now having all my family and my friends and coaches, I mean, it was very, very special. The Hall of Fame is something that I never, ever thought or dreamed about. It's just a huge honor, and I'm just very, very happy to be there.
I know we're all proud of you here in South Florida for going into the
well deserved.
Congratulate you on that. Big 3rd down and about 4 for Miami. Fake to James.
They got him down the field, Frank.
corner route. Santana Moss makes the catch at the 35. Moss will score a Hurricane touchdown, his first since the Florida State game, and Miami can draw back within 3 points with a successful conversion.
That's got to make you happy, big fella.
Absolutely. I mean, we can't ask for a better team. We really are happy with it. We got some players that should be playing on the next level in a couple of years here, if not next year.
Well, Frank, we talked about Santana Moss not catching a touchdown pass since the Florida State game, and UCLA has been doing this to the Miami secondary. It was time to trade hats, and a great route by Santana Moss, just getting away on the corner route, did a great job of getting away from the cornerback and just escapes the tackle at about the 15-yard line and gets in for the Miami Hurricane touchdown.
71-yard touchdown play for Santana Moss, his 8th touchdown of the year. Popovich to hold. Crossland's conversion is good, and with 12:34 left to go in the 4th quarter, it's UCLA 38, Miami 35. And I said it at halftime, whatever the fans paid to get into this game, they're getting their money's worth and more.
Well, it was a maximum protection, Frank. They kept everybody in a one-man route to the outside. It was man coverage. All Scott Covington had to do was lob the football up, and you see Ryan Rock, 33, just cannot make the tackle on Santana Moss, and it's a huge touchdown for the Canes.
It's Miami down by 3. Scott Covington with the touchdown pass. We'll be back with more at the Orange Bowl right after this on Sports Channel. To 35, only a 3-point deficit now with 12:34 left to go, as the Hurricanes have scored the last 2 touchdowns. Santana Moss 71 yards, and look at that Miami sideline going crazy.
Well, they got the emotion back, and you see Reggie Wayne trying to help him run along the sideline to get him into the end zone, but it's been a long time since Santana Moss has found the end zone, and it was very important to find it on that play.
At the goal line, Ryan Rock knocked down by Marquise Fitzgerald.
Wow.
At the 17-yard line as Marquise got all up in his grill.
That was a bullet. Marquise Fitzgerald, that's the team that has really been scaring me the most for the University of Miami. Has been the kick cover team. UCLA's done a nice job of getting the football, but watch his bullet on the bottom of the screen right there. A knockout blow. Marquise Fitzgerald coming in with authority.
Well, we want to thank Dwight Stevenson, the game chairman of the Micron PC Bowl. Dwight, thanks very much for being with us. Once again, for ticket information, you can call the Micron PC Bowl, call Ticketmaster, or call 1-800-GO-CANES for information. Dwight, thanks a lot.
Dwight. Thank you, Frank. All right.
Dwight Stevenson, ladies and gentlemen. 1st and 10 for UCLA from their 17-yard line. And whistle stop this play before it gets started. The Miami scoring drive, by the way, 5 plays, 87 yards, 2 minutes and 12 seconds. And it's the 5th Miami touchdown drive of at least 70 yards.
Offense. 5-yard penalty remains first down.
Cade McNown today, 18 of 24, 396. As you see the Miami scoring drive, 87 yards, and they've had 5 long scoring drives, John. McNown, 18 out of 24, 396 and 5 touchdowns. Covington, 14 out of 23, 236 and 2 scores. And of course, Edgerrin James with 288 yards rushing. 1st and 15 after the penalty on UCLA. That's their 7th penalty of the game. On 1st and 15, Deshaun Foster, the lone running back. Foster with the football. Hit by Chevin Marshall. Tipped up only a yard. Chevin Marshall, the true freshman out of South Dade High School, 6'2", 230 pounds, put in a very tough position today, having to fill in for Nate Webster, the top tackler in the Big East. Nate averaging 13 tackles a game, and that's a lot to ask of a true freshman in a game of this magnitude. Sean Stewart, the UCLA center, is a little bit slow getting up.
And we talked about Troy Danoff earlier being out of the game, the backup center. See who the Bruins answer with.
Looks like it's going to be Oscar Cabrera moving over from guard, if I'm reading the huddle correctly. No,
actually, that Troy Danoff
is
came back in the game.
Back in the game is Troy Danhoff, the freshman from Albuquerque, New Mexico. You mentioned it before, John, and I said there's 8, excluding kickers, 8 of UCLA's first 44, the 2-deep depth chart, are seniors. So, I mean, these guys, and of course they lose McNown, which is it's a huge loss. But they're going to be back in a force in the Pac-10 next year for sure.
Yeah, they're a terrific football team. They really do everything well. Defensively, you know, they've played well enough to stay in the game. But as you said, Frank, losing Cade McNown, you're going to have to, you know, stop football teams next season. But they've got a fight on their hands right now. The Miami Hurricanes putting up 35 points, and Butch Davis in that sideline, and the Orange Bowl back into this football game.
Miami led at halftime 21-17. UCLA scored 3 unanswered touchdowns in the third quarter. They led it 38-21. But Miami coming back with 2 scores here in the fourth. And how about that? The only turnover of the game by Brian Foley-Dixon, the fumble at the Miami 14-yard line. And Miami turns that into a score, so that may be a 14-point swing right there. 2nd and 13 for UCLA. McNown. Pass on the outside, complete to Farmer. Nate Brooks shoves him out up at the 31-yard line, but that is a Bruin first down.
Yeah, it looked like there was a little confusion in the Miami secondary. Edward Reed and Al Blades trying to communicate to say, get back, don't give the big play away again. But McNown stands tall in the pocket, perfect protection. He throws a rifle shot out to Danny Farmer on the out route, and they convert for a first down.
1st and 10 at the Bruin 31 with 11:46 left to go in the fourth quarter. Nate Brooks and Leonard Myers, now the Miami corners. Reed in motion. Give to Foster. Foster met by Dan Morgan, and then Nate Brooks helps out. And they hold it to no gain.
Boy, what a nice play by number 44, Dan Morgan. He came into the game with 131 total tackles. That time he just scrapes down the line of scrimmage until he finds a ball carrier. Nice aggressive play. He has a nose for the football, and without his playing mate Nate Webster next to him, this linebacking core of Dan Morgan, Chevin Marshall, Michael Smith, you've seen Rod Mack, you've seen Chris Campbell. They've all had to elevate their play.
2nd and 10 for UCLA. McNown under pressure, over the middle, caught by his tight end Grebe, up near midfield. Grebe still going, and Morgan and Blades make the tackle at the Miami 49-yard line. Well, UCLA just keeps coming up with big play after big play.
They have a knack for making the big play, Frank, and they're making the Canes pay. It looked like Edward Reed, number 20, almost gambles on the play and looked like he was going to come up with a play, but just a great throw by McNown. He put the ball high enough where only his receiver could get it. Grebe, he's 6'4", 248, the senior tight end, goes up and gets the football. But another great headsy play. You see the numbers, 20 of 26, 5 touchdowns and 433 through the air.
Darrell Price, the fullback, has the football and gets only a half a yard. Derek Ham in on the tackle, along with, looks like Adrian Wilson, number 96, coming up off the stack. That'll bring up 2nd and 9.
Greg, I want to go back to that play where McNown threw the football down to Grebe. He's done that 3 or 4 or 5 times today where he's just gotten rid of the football about a second before he's going to get hit. And he has an uncanny ability to find his receivers when he's under duress. And that's a sign of just a terrific quarterback.
Yeah, Chevin Marshall was coming on a blitz, and McNown got rid of it just in time. 2nd and 9. Fake to Foster. McNown. Corner route, Farmer open again against Leonard Myers, and a flag down.
There was some contact down the field with Farmer, and it looked like number 22, Leonard Myers. This may go offensive.
Pickup was about 13 yards, and good for a first down. We'll see if it stands. It's going to be holding against Miami. Let's take an ISO look at Farmer working against Leonard Myers.
There was some contact right there. You get a grab by Myers, but there was more contact than that. No, I guess there wasn't.
No.
Looked like both guys were trying to get in with some hand fighting, so I don't know. That's probably a better no call than a call.
Absolutely. From the Miami 36 now, UCLA on the move. 10 minutes and 7 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. It's UCLA 38, Miami 35. Frank Fort and John Congemi with you on a game that's been absolutely terrific. UCLA again with that double tight end. Give to Foster. Foster finds a crease. Dan Morgan hauls him down at the Miami 30, but it's a gain of 6 with 10 minutes now to go in the fourth quarter.
UCLA running game has come alive a little bit more in the second half than the first half, and they're running for 4, 5, and 6 yards. Great job by the offensive line. You see number 98, Sweeney, going to the inside, but a nice down block by Andy Myers, 78, going to the outside, along with Oscar Cabrera, number 59. They did a nice job in the middle of the football field.
2nd and 4. Again, Foster. This time, Michael Smith with a great tackle. No gain.
Great instinct by number 59, Michael Smith. Well, he had a jump on that one, didn't he, Frank?
Yes, he did. It was shot across the line of scrimmage. Look at number 59 again, the junior out of Riviera Beach.
Yeah, he looked like he was on a game going from our right to left, and it looked like man coverage, and he was probably responsible for the first back out. He did a nice job of scraping down the line of scrimmage and holding UCLA to a 3rd and 4 opportunity.
3rd and 4. UCLA with 3 wide receivers in. McNown, straight drop, over the middle, caught, first down. Mike Reed, the tight end, once again, this time at the Miami 23-yard line.
Grieve and Chevin Marshall, number 41. There's a lot of contact down the middle of the field. You've got a freshman linebacker against a senior tight end. Let's see if the senior pushes off and uses his leverage. McNown, a lot of time, you see the Miami Hurricane player down in the middle of the football field. It looked like Grieve. There was a little contact. He pushed off, open, first down. He did what he had to do in the middle of the football field to get open.
Mike Grieve had only 11 catches coming into the game, but for a 17-yard average. And he's been a key factor for UCLA today. First down, pitch to Foster. Foster looking for a hole. Got away from Dan Morgan, and then Edward Reed had to finish him off at the Miami 15-yard line. That's a pickup of a little over 8 yards. You don't get away from Dan Morgan very often, but his effectiveness has been limited the last 3 games by that broken thumb. Playing today for the first time without a cast since he broke that thumb.
Yeah, you see him right there. He had the beat on Foster, and he waited for some help.
Here's Foster again, got away from a tackle, still going inside the 10-yard line, and he'll have a UCLA first down.
A lot of missed tackles out there, Frank, right now. A lot of Hurricanes bouncing off of Bruin running backs.
Al Blades and Marquise Fitzgerald made the tackle, and Blades is sitting now on the UCLA sideline. A little slow to get up. It'll be 1st and goal for the Bruins at the Miami 8. 7:56 left to go in the 4th quarter. Miami defense, this young Miami defense hasn't come up really with any answers today, aside from the 1 fumble recovery against this UCLA offense.
And the Bruins have answered right now, Frank. They've taken the ball almost the distance of the field with only a 3-point lead. Now 7:56 left to go in the game.
Miami has taken a timeout. 7:56 left to go, 4th quarter at the Orange Bowl. It's UCLA 38, Miami 35 with the Bruins threatening. We'll be right back on Sports Channel after this. The Bruins by 3, threatening at the Miami 8-yard line. The last 3 games, including this one, the Bruins have allowed 0 sacks.
And Miami's been close on many occasions, but you know, you have to credit that to the offensive line, of course, but Cade McNown has done a nice job of really holding on to the football when he's had to, but when he's had to get rid of it, he makes the offensive line really look good because he has a knack of finding the open receiver just as the defender is bearing down on him.
Cade McNown, 6'1½". They're sure to get that half in there in the official listings.
It's always good.
209-pound senior from West Lynn, Oregon. 1st and goal, UCLA. Miami showing blitz, and they jumped. And let's see if Dan Morgan claiming that somebody simulated the snap. We'll see if the officials agree with them.
That ball, offsides.
They do not.
It's the defense. The penalty is half the distance to the goal. Remains first down.
That's the 2nd time the Canes have been guilty of that, showing blitz and jumping.
Yeah, the first time Edward Reed, and it looked like there was about 4 or 5 players coming in right on top of the ball. Michael Lawson, you see, and 92 Lewis along with Dan Morgan. Have to keep your patience even though you're trying to bring some heat.
3 tight ends in. Give to Foster. Foster tackled by Michael Lawson as he got to the 3. Well, if UCLA can punch it in here and put the lead back up to 10, then the clock becomes their ally with 7:43 to go at this moment and the clock moving.
Boy, you're right, Frank. Miami had the perfect opportunity to bring their defense on the field, only trailing by 3 points. But this is why UCLA is ranked 2nd in the nation. They have a terrific offense. They score a lot of points, and they're proving it again today.
2nd and goal for the Bruins. Foster again. Deshaun Foster. Deshaun Foster stretches and does not get to the goal line. About a half a yard short.
Edward Reed coming up from the secondary position. This is where you have to be a little bit smarter, though. Reed really trying to go for the knockout punch. It would have been better if he just wrapped his arms around Foster and held him to no gain. Watch this shot right here. He actually almost throws a block. He doesn't go to tackle him. He actually tries a knockout punch. I think maybe Michael Smith may have knocked him off with the tackle. Actually, that's my fault. It looked like he did try to break down and get him down, but Michael Smith was so aggressive and knocked Edward Reed off the tackle.
There's a timeout on the field with 7 minutes exactly to go in the fourth quarter. It'll be 3rd and goal for UCLA. The ball just inside the Miami 1-yard line. Well, John, I think Miami can be satisfied, at least in this sense. They have bounced back from that debacle at Syracuse last week. Certainly UCLA was the favorite in this game. Clearly the better football team, the deeper football team. But you wondered how Miami would respond after last week. That's a tough thing to come back from. And certainly the way they came out in the first half and the way they've come back in the fourth quarter from that 17-point deficit, you would say that they've ridden the blow at Syracuse pretty well.
Well, I thought the latter was more important. I expected them to come out and play well early. What I didn't expect was them to come back the way they did. It would have been very easy for Miami after the loss last week of just really fold up tent, go to their bowl game, try to beat NC State and call it a season. But they've really tried to find a way to get back into this football game. And if it hasn't been for Cade McNown and this explosive offense, they've done a terrific job moving the football in their own regard, putting up 35 points. They just can't stop the UCLA Bruins, and really the team that has the ball last may win this football game.
Let's take a look. Earlier this week, the Big East coaches released their All-Big East team, and our congratulations to Richard Mercier, Bubba Franks, Edgerrin James, Derek Hand, Dan Morgan, and Nate Webster, all named to the first team. Santana Moss and Leonard Myers, second team All-Big East, and Joaquin Gonzalez, the Rookie of the Year. So congratulations to all those Hurricanes. John, I'll put this out. With 90% of the quarterbacks in America, UCLA wouldn't be winning this game right now.
No, they
wouldn't.
With
Cade McNown, they're winning it.
That's a good point, Frank. He's one of the best in the country.
3rd and goal. Everybody in tight for the Bruins. They have not yet marked the ball ready for play. Now they have.
Oh, how important this is to keep them to only a field goal opportunity.
Fake to Foster. McNown on the rollout. McNown sprinting to the corner. McNown, touchdown. He outraced Edward Reed to the corner and got the touchdown for the Bruins.
Not only can he throw the football in the pocket, but he has tremendous speed to the outside, something that I didn't expect him to win that foot race with Edward Reed. He had a couple steps on him, but still, it takes great ability to go and try to play fake and really stop your momentum and then go from inside out. You see Edward Reed gets a late jump, and McNown has a couple steps on him. But watch the effort right here. He gets it in the end zone any way he can. He just gets to the pylon for the score. That's a great effort by a senior quarterback.
So with 6:54 left to play, Chris Saylor on to attempt the extra point and try to put the lead back out to 10 again. Saylor's boot is through there and good. Son of a sailor, as Jimmy Buffett once said.
That's true.
And with 6:54 left to go in the fourth quarter, UCLA has stretched their lead out to 10 again. It's the Bruins 45, the Hurricanes 35. Back with more on Sports Channel right after this. Trail it by 10 once again. The 6th annual HIP Golf Classic to benefit the University of Miami Student Athlete Scholarship Fund will be held Monday, January 18th at the Weston Hills Country Club. Great golf for a great cause. Call 305-284-2491 today. So the Hurricanes, John, had pulled back within 3 points at 38-35, but UCLA responds with a 14-play, 83-yard drive, and they take 5:40 off the clock, and McNown caps it off 3rd and goal with the sprint out for the touchdown.
Well, he's been masterful all afternoon, and he deserves one rushing. He's already thrown 5 touchdown passes on the day, 22 of 28 for 453. Just a spectacular afternoon for that young man.
Saylor to kick off. Davenport and Jones are deep. Jones has to run up to the 16 to catch the football, and then Darryl Jones brought down at the 30-yard line. Jason Stevens making the tackle on the Bruins special teams. Miami starts 1st and 10 right there. 6:46 to go in the fourth quarter. It's been a wide open, wild, entertaining game. And we were talking during the break, John, that what had been a pretty decent defensive year for the Hurricanes through 9 games, giving up 18 points a game. Well, last game they give up 66, this game 45, so they've given up over 100 points in the last 2, and they'll throw their defensive numbers all out of whack for the year. What was a pretty good defensive year is going to turn into a mediocre one with these last 2 ball games. Bubba Franks in motion on 1st and 10. Reverse coming to Santana Moss. Got a good block from Robert Hall. Santana Moss down the sideline, skips out at the Miami 41-yard line and should have enough for a first down.
Those are the blocks you love as an offensive lineman because you're always blocking the guy right in front of you. That's how you see the big smile on Robert Hall's face. He knew he had a knockout shot coming. He blocks down and then he just waits around the corner. He said, come on, here's my knockout shot, here's my highlight reel shot, and he does it. And Santana does a nice job of just getting in as much as he can on the reverse for a first down.
It is a first down for the Hurricanes. 6:39 to go now, fourth quarter. Ball just across the Miami 40-yard line. Canes trail it by 10. Fulcher in motion. Covington on the sprint out.
Got him.
Plenty of time. Going for Andre King, and he cannot make the catch. Flag down. That is interference on the defensive back, Marquise Anderson, who never turned around for the ball, and that's why the flag was thrown.
Never made a play on the football. You're exactly right, Frank. It looked like Moss had him, or actually Andre King had him beat down the sidelines. The ball came up just a touch short, but watch this. He's got a step right here if the ball's in the air. It looks like he has to throttle it down just a touch. And he moves him in himself in a position to catch the ball, almost pins it on Marquise Anderson's back. But there's the flag right there. Marquise never made a play on the football.
Yeah, you got to turn the head around, at least make the effort to turn your head around, and you'll get away with that. But if you don't turn around, they're going to call that every time. So it costs UCLA 15 yards, and the ball moved to their 44-yard line.
The previous spot.
Marquise Anderson, 6 feet even. 182-pound sophomore out of Long Beach. 9 pass breakups on the air, but the Hurricanes have picked on him quite a bit today.
They really have.
1st and 10 from the Bruin 44. Give to James. James through a crease. James, great move. Edgerrin knocked down from behind by Santee Hall at the Bruin 30-yard line, but Edgerrin picks up almost 15, and that should put him over 300 yards rushing today.
Wow, just a spectacular afternoon, but you can thank Santee Hall if you're a Bruin fan, because this is the only thing keeping Edgerrin from gaining another 15 or 20 yards. Watch the right here in the back, number 95, just gets his right ankle, it looks like, and really knocks him off his feet. But what a terrific run, and credit this offensive line. Edgerrin James running wild, but the offensive line and the tight ends are doing a terrific job of providing him room to run.
Timeout called by the Hurricanes. Unofficially now, up here in the booth, we have Edgerrin James for 302 yards rushing.
I'm tired watching him, Frank.
Oh, man. I'll tell you what. And you know what? He was voted all Big East by the coaches. The football news, because the coaches selected 3 running backs. They picked Zeraway from West Virginia, Mike Cloud from BC, and Edgerrin James from Miami. The football news only chose 2 running backs. They made Edgerrin James second team behind Zeraway and Cloud. You look at the performance he's put on today, and you wonder, now granted, those are all great, all 3 of them are great running backs.
Well, I tell you what, the performance he's given the Miami Hurricanes the last 5 games has just been astounding. He's done a great job of giving them balance on offense. You know, they can really, if they load up and try to stop Edgerrin James, it gives Scott Covington the room to drop back and throw the football. But conversely, when there's room to run, Edgerrin knows how to pick his holes and pick and choose where he's going. You see 37 carries for 303 and 2 touchdowns, and there's still 6:15 left to go in this football game.
Edgerrin James, maybe his last game at the Orange Bowl. He is a junior. He's got a decision to make, whether he's going to come out at the end of this year. You know, if he comes back, John, it's not inconceivable to think of him as a Heisman Trophy candidate.
Oh, definitely. I think he would be pretty close to, you know, the top 5 guys coming back, but in my personal opinion, I don't think he's going to be back.
1st and 10 from the Bruin 30. Fake to James.
Got him.
Covington on the rollout. Wide open. Mondrell Fulcher. Touchdown, Miami. 6:08 still to play, and the Canes can get back within 3.
That's the play that Scott Covington missed down the middle of the field earlier to Bubba Franks. We talked about it on 3rd and 5. This time they come back with the exact play. Only Mondrell Fulcher in the game. He gets his first touchdown pass of the season. Scott Covington had enough time on the play action fake to find him just about at the 10-yard line. Just a great call and a great play action fake by Covington. Take a look. You'll see Fulcher coming from the left side, goes right across the grain, and Scott Covington says, just get it there. He hits him about the 10-yard line and gets in for the Canes touchdown.
Crossland out of Popovich's hold. Trying to make it a 3-point game once again. Crossland's kick is good, and with 6 minutes and 8 seconds, Miami is back within 3 at 45-42. One more look at the touchdown to Mondrell Fulcher, and that is, John, his first touchdown of the season.
Yeah, Covington did a nice job with the play action, and Fulcher did a nice job of sneaking across the formation from left to right. They've run this play a couple times. You see Scott Covington, he would love to make a statement against UCLA, being from California. This is the game he's looked forward to all season long. In talking with him during the week, he just really pointed at this game all season long to really come out and make a great performance.
You know, we're real excited about this game, and we should be, but, you know, they play a lot of these type of games out in the Pac-10. UCLA's had a bunch of them this year, But I'll tell you what, this may go down as one of the great games in Orange Bowl history. Orange Bowl lore is being extended today. You think of the Miami-Boston College game,
right,
the Hale-Flutie game. This is a similar type game where neither defense can stop the other offense.
Whoever has the ball last, Frank, I really do believe is going to win this football game. And Miami in a position right now that they can come out and make a stand on defense. They really haven't done it all day long. With 6:08 left, they have to find a way to stop Cade McNown on third down. The conversions, I don't know what they are, but it's very high for Cade McNown in making plays on third down.
We're told the average yards per play. There's the Miami scoring drive. 3 plays, 70 yards, 46 seconds. UCLA is averaging 9.7 yards a play. Miami 8.7.
Unreal.
I think the defensive coordinators,
they're shaking their head.
Watch
That's right.
tonight. Well, I said it was going to be a sleepless week for Bill Miller, the defensive coordinator, after last week at Syracuse and then with UCLA coming in.
In saying all that, too, Miami's in a great position right now to really come up. If they come up with one stop, that's all people will talk about.
Short kickoff with the win. This is Rock, and Rock hit by Devon Rhodes at the 27-yard line. And that's where the Bruins will start 1st and 10. So with 5:58 left to go, we mentioned the third down conversions. Listen to these numbers. UCLA 8 out of 11, Miami 10 out of 14.
It's amazing.
It's just, if you're a defensive coordinator, you shake your head and say, well, you know, what else can we do?
Well, after you pick yourself off the ground, you shake your head.
There's Butch Davis talking to Todd Severs, the kicker, and where's the D? 111 points in the last 2 games surrendered by the Hurricanes. And as I said, a pretty good defensive year. It's going to get thrown way out of proportion by these last 2. 1st and 10 from the 27. Lewis is the running back. Lewis has the football. Following a big block, got away from Edward Reed, but then could not skip away from Quincy Hips, who held it to a 3-yard gain.
Well, this defense is playing with a lot of enthusiasm because they can feel that they're back in this football game, that they fought the battle all the way back to get it within 3 again, and they know the pressure, and really the game hinges on how they perform. The offense has done a great job. You see Morgan and Blades at the end of that tackle, but this game really hinges on them and stopping this McNown-led offense.
2nd and 7. Pitch to Lewis. Lewis hit by Quincy Hips as he drilled him for no gain.
That play was an excellent play made by Dan Morgan into Quincy Hips. Morgan forced the running back to the inside, and number 90 was waiting for him right there. Take a look at Morgan, 44. Foster wants to go to the outside. Or, I'm sorry, Lewis wants to go to the outside, but he's there. He can't go there. He has to turn it back in, and Quincy Hips was right in the right spot. He stayed home where he should be and makes a big play on 2nd down.
UCLA 8 of 11 on the third down conversions. It's 3rd and about 7. 4:50 left to go. McNown straight drop. Pressure coming over the middle, complete to Wilkins. Backup wide receiver out to the 42-yard line, and that is a pickup of 12 and a 1st down.
I guess this is just a routine day at the office for Cade McNown, because on 3rd down, he's done just an excellent job of standing back. Watch him just sidearm this. He flicks it just back off of his left foot, just flicks it right around between Morgan and Rod Mack for the 1st down.
There was an opportunity maybe for Dan Morgan to make a play there because McNown didn't have a real big throwing lane, but Wilkins snuck in behind Morgan.
But he did put it to the upfield shoulder. I mean, he's done everything right.
Breathe in motion. Give to Lewis. Lewis tackled by Morgan. Got up to the 44-yard line, get about 2. 4 minutes, 10 seconds, and the clock moving here at the Orange Bowl. It's UCLA 45, Miami 42. Timeouts remaining. The Bruins have 2, Miami only 1.
Yeah, that could be critical. Miami had to waste a couple timeouts earlier in the second half. They have 1 timeout remaining with 3:55 and counting. Clock really on the side of the Bruins.
From the UCLA 44, 2nd and 8. McNown with play fake. Steps up in the pocket. Throwing deep down the middle. Myers up with Farmer, and Myers knocked it away.
Leonard Myers makes your heart race every time he's in a jump ball situation. It looks like I remember earlier in the game, he lost his footing on the one play on the sideline to Farmer. This time McNown steps up again from the pressure and finds a way to get the ball downfield under duress of Dan Morgan. But watch him, just mistimes his jump just a touch and almost gets out-battled for the football. But what a great fight for the football between Farmer and Leonard Myers.
Yeah, Leonard missed on the initial one, but look him come back and scratch and scrape and knock this ball away.
Almost ended up catching it.
3rd and 8 for the Bruins. 3rd down conversions, 9 out of 12. Out of the shotgun. Stepping up in the pocket. Rifles it wide open, complete to Melsby. And Melsby down at the Miami 25-yard line. Edward
that
Reed
ball came out. That Miami ball.
Miami ball. Delvin Brown came up with it. Wow.
I think I did what you did, Frank. I put my head down to see what was going on the field, and I didn't see the ball come out until late. Let's take a look. What a devastating shot by number 20, Edward Reed. The right knee's down, and that ball came out. That's a bad call again by the Big East officiating crew. But you see number 24, Delvin Brown, in on the recovery. He was clearly down.
His knee was down, and Bob Toledo's got a right to complain. But it is Miami football. Well, we've seen that call missed a couple times this year when the ball came out before the knee. This time Miami benefits from the call. 1st and 10 from the 26, 3:24 left. Give to Davenport. Davenport across the 35. Still going at the 40, down to the 42-yard line. Has a Miami 1st down. Larry Atkins making the tackle.
I like the formation. They spread the Bruins out. They put Edgerrin James out as the lone receiver to the near side with a one-back set. You see the 2 wide receivers to the top of your screen. Now you just follow Robert Hall and Richard Mercier, and Davenport does a nice job of cutting back to the inside and getting a Hurricane 1st down.
Looked to be a couple of holds by Miami, but
Miami getting some breaks here.
Yeah, the Big East crew, you know, they missed an obvious one on one of the UCLA touchdowns. And the Hurricanes get a break there from the 42. Covington on the rollout. To the sideline, caught by Andre King. Maybe a half a yard shy of a 1st down in UCLA territory.
Andre King running terrific routes to the outside. He's really closing the cushion on number 7. The cornerback for the Bruins does a nice job on Marquise Anderson again. Hurricanes move the pocket intentionally to give Covington some room. He waits till the last possible second. Wanted to go to Santana Moss, but he fell down on the route. Goes outside to the comeback route to Andre King. It brings up a 2nd and 1.
2:52 left to go, 4th quarter. Canes down by 3. They'll give it to James, trying to get the 1st down. This could turn into a really bad play. And James is going to go down back at the Miami 46-yard line. That's just hideous on a 2nd and 1.
Yeah, and you keep the clock running as well. 2:38 and 7 and counting now. Edgerrin James running the length of the field really to lose about 5 yards.
That'll take him back under 300, I believe. But on a 2nd and 1, you just got to put your head down and go up the field.
Well, there was no running room at the point of attack. You give the Bruins credit. Yep. There was nowhere to run up. Really, the best play he could have done was really just to fall down at the line of scrimmage and take a 1-yard loss.
That brings up 3rd and 6 now at the Miami 46.
Here comes pressure, man-to-man. You got to make a play.
Bruins come on the blitz. Miami picks it up as Covington moves out of the pocket. Throw to the sideline, complete to Andre King at the UCLA 35-yard line.
Great call by Larry Coker. Man-to-man, you get pressure. You got 8 people in the box. Everybody's going to try to force the quarterback. So what do? You move the pocket to the right. You move it by yourself. And now the Bruins are in pursuit. They can't catch up. Nice job on the corner by Gonzalez and number 18, Mondrell Fulcher. But they've been making a living on this comeback route. It's Covington to King for another 1st down.
From the UCLA 35, 2 minutes and 1 second left to go. We'll reiterate the score. It's UCLA 45, Miami 42. First down, Covington to throw. Outside to his tight end, Bubba Franks, complete down to the 24-yard line. That's good for a 1st down, I believe, as Larry Atkins made the tackle.
Yeah, Bubba Franks on the tight end play. He just does a nice job to the short side of the field. And he makes himself big, and Covington did a nice job looking down the field. He had one option in the flat. You'll see the fullback go to the flat. He gets out a little bit late, so he decides, I'm going to go up the field because the cornerback comes up on the play before him. Number 24, Hicks, came up on the fullback, and that left the tight end wide open.
First down Miami with 1:42 to go at the Bruin 24. Give to Davenport. Davenport with room to the 15-yard line, 9-yard pickup.
Now the Canes have one timeout remaining, and it looks like he's going to be short of a first down. All they need is 3 points to tie, so you have to be careful what you do in this situation.
1:18 to go, and the clock now moving at the 15-yard line. I'll tell you what, anybody who left this football game early is a fool.
Well, everybody's standing up in the Orange Bowl. What do we have, 48,000?
46,000.
46,000. Everybody's standing up.
2nd and 1. Covington. Wide open, Nick Williams, the fullback. Nick Williams, touchdown!
Oh no, he marked him out. He marked him out at the 1-yard line.
One ref signaled touchdown, the other ref marked him out. It's out at the 1-yard line. One ref signaled touchdown.
Covington's making a living on this short side field with the flood route, the fullback into flat, and the tight end going deep. It's a really a high-low stretch. You see the fullback, the tight end, Fulcher deep, and the fullback, Williams short. It's a high-low stretch. UCLA has not had an answer for that play all afternoon.
First and goal from the 1. There's 54 seconds to go. Actually, it's probably a good thing because now you can take a little more time off the clock.
Exactly, but I'd rather have the points on the board.
Touchdown. I'm assuming they're going to score, which you can never assume. Williams resets. Edgerrin James with the pitch. Edgerrin James, touchdown Miami with 50 seconds left to play.
Short side play again by the Canes. Just a toss play to Edgerrin James. They did a nice job of moving Nick Williams up to the line of scrimmage just behind the tight end. They win the battle on the line of scrimmage. Art Kehoe's crew, they put strength on strength, and Miami wins. Edgerrin James goes in from the 1.
So with 50 seconds left to go, Miami has jumped back on top. It's 48-45. The all-important conversion from Andy Crossland. Popovich puts it down. Crossland's kick is good, and that means a field goal does UCLA no good. It's Miami by 4, 49-45, and now it comes down to this for UCLA. Their dreams of a national championship. They've got 50 seconds left.
Well, I think they've been in this situation a couple times this season, so, you know, Cade McNown, nothing big for him. He's had a great performance. He figures 50 seconds is a lot of time to move the football team down the field. But I think the key right now for Miami is Todd Sievers, the kickoff kicker for Miami. I'll get it out sooner or later,
Frank.
Frank.
I don't blame you, John. This is as exciting a ball game as we can see.
But they have to do a good job of kicking the football into the end zone to eliminate the return. Miami's been really weak on that. You see streak breakers since '83. UM has snapped 7 winning streaks of 10 games plus, and none would be sweeter than to snap a 20-game streak.
50 seconds left to go. Jermaine Lewis and Ryan Rock back to receive for the Bruins. Todd Sievers will kick it off for Miami. It's Miami 49, UCLA 45. There's the scoring drive. 8 plays, 74 yards, 2 minutes and 34 seconds, and Edgerrin James with his 3rd touchdown of the afternoon. And John, all set up by that questionable fumble call.
That's right. Wow, that's got to eat you alive.
Sievers will squib the kick. Picked up short and out to the 45-yard line. Number 49, Cheyenne Caldwell.
Now, that's something, I mean, the UCLA kickers have been kicking the ball 8, 9, 10 yards into the end zone, and we've seen the Miami kickers do that with some wind-aided kicks. That's just a strange play that he can't get it in the end zone, and I know Butch Davis was talking to him after the last kickoff saying, you know, we've got to create something. Maybe they want to change it up, but you got to kick that ball in the end zone.
Well, either that or pooch it high, because they've made tackles pretty much right after the guy caught the ball in that situation a couple of times. 42 seconds left. McNown stepping up in the pocket, dumps it off to Foster. Want to keep him in bounds. Foster got away from Leonard Myers. Oh, you got to wrap him up. Edward Reed made the tackle, inside Miami territory at the 43-yard line. He got away from Leonard Myers. You've got to wrap a guy up. Only 31 seconds left to go.
Well, there's 2 plays in a row that have the Miami fans shaking their heads and pulling out their hair because you have Foster in the backfield, or maybe to a minimal gain of 4 yards, and he just slips through Kane tacklers, and McNown still has 31 seconds left to go. They have 2 timeouts, but watch this. They've got him stopped. They're going to keep the clock running.
Go down
and make
low.
him waste a timeout, and he gets away to get out of bounds.
Got to tackle him around the legs. McNown stepping up. Pass complete. There's a lateral play, and Miami almost picked it off, but Foster managed to hang on to it out at the 38-yard line.
That's about the same place when the Miami Dolphins did it against San Diego in this Orange Bowl.
Well, Miami almost got a hand on that pitch back.
I think Ham is getting a great jump on the top left of your screen. He's getting a great job on McNabb, and it almost looked like a hold, but he got by him. I think Ham's going to get to McNabb before this 24 seconds is over.
24 seconds to play from the Miami 37. McNown reloading, incomplete, and that's a good thing it was. Flag down at the 40-yard line. Let's see what the call is. Thrown by the official on the far side of the field. Offside Miami. Oh boy. That's going to give UCLA a first down inside the 35-yard line.
Well, it's pretty tough on a defense when you only have to go about 55 yards to get a touchdown in a situation like this.
Defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
It's enough for a UCLA first down with 19 seconds to go. Well, we go back to the kickoff, John, and you know, they'd used that pooch kick a couple times and tackled the guy almost immediately. You wonder why they didn't go back to something like that.
Well, McNown 24 of 31 for 495 and 5 touchdowns going into this series. What an afternoon.
McNown out of the shotgun from the 32. McNown under some pressure. McNown will have to run it and skips out of bounds just inside the 30-yard line. So that took 8 seconds off the clock. There's 11 left.
Probably have 2 more plays to try to get into the end zone at the most, I would think. McNown talking with his coach, Bob Toledo.
11 seconds left to go.
Got to take a shot at the end zone here, or at least get it down in a... He's got so many weapons on the outside, but you're limited to what you can do. The ball's on the 30-yard line. You can't scramble long enough because you only have 1 play then. You know, they wasted a lot of time. It might have been better off just to burn it out of bounds and conserve some time.
2nd and 8. McNown. Michael Burrow got away. McNown down the middle. Ball is almost intercepted by Dan Morgan. Oh my goodness, Dan Morgan had a chance to clinch this ball game and just couldn't hang on.
McNown has been a step away from being sacked 3, 4, 5 times. Take a look at the bottom right of your screen. You see number 93, Michael Burrow. He has 10 quarterback pressures on the season. He can't get him, and then Ham almost comes a step away from behind. He can't get to him, but Morgan has the ball right in his hands and just doesn't come down with it.
All right, watch for a trick play. Drew Bennett, the backup quarterback, is in at wide receiver. He's split to the bottom of the screen. 4 seconds left to go. McNown stepping up. McNown throwing to the end zone. Jump ball incomplete. Miami wins. Miami has pulled off the upset. The Hurricanes 49, UCLA 45, and the Bruins' dreams of a national championship died on the turf of the Orange Bowl.
And the Canes celebrate. They come out to the football field. You got to feel nothing but joy for this Miami team, how they came back from last week to a stunning upset right at home. This team showed a lot of heart and character today to come back only to win 49-45.
The Miami Hurricanes, 10-point underdogs, and facing the second-ranked team in the country, pull off the upset. There's been a lot of talk about Butch Davis's record against ranked teams, and granted it hasn't been good, and faced with the sanctions that they were faced with, but this will quiet a lot of that talk as Miami pulls off a 49-45 game, classic football game here at the Orange Bowl. This will nearly extend the Orange Bowl roar and the mystique of this place.
Well, you just can't say enough about the effort that was displayed coming out by this offense to try to keep up and score with UCLA. 49 points from Miami, and only last week they managed to get 16. This defense came up big when it had to. They allowed 45 points, but UCLA's been scoring on teams all season long. Just a terrific job by the Canes.
We got to take a breath. We got to pause, and we'll take a look at the winning touchdown from Edgerrin James. A 1-yard run, his third touchdown of the day, put Miami up 49-45. They win it. We'll be back on Sports Channel right after this.
There's never been a baseball season like this one.
There you see it, the final score at the Orange Bowl. Miami 49, UCLA 45. The Bruins' 20-game winning streak is over. Their hopes of a national title dashed. And John Congemi, just one of the most amazing football games, and I've witnessed a lot of them, especially in this place. I can't remember one that was as wild and crazy as this, with the possible exception of the Hale Flutie game.
And you don't even care that there wasn't much defense played on a 49-45 football game. The Miami Hurricanes, what a comeback from just 1 week ago that they were picking themselves off the ground in the Carrier Dome. They couldn't believe how they were overwhelmed. And then to come out against the second-ranked team in the nation in UCLA with all that firepower, and they made it look so easy. Cade McNown threw, I don't know, he threw for over 500 yards, 513 to be exact, and 5 TDs, 6 total. But, you know, Scott Covington and that offense just kept coming back, and Edgerrin James with 299. Just spectacular effort coming back to win this football game.
Let's take a look at some of the final stats as you see the pandemonium here at the Orange Bowl. Total offense, we'll add up those pass and rush yards for you. We'll do the math. 670 for UCLA, 689 for the Hurricanes. The time of possession, pretty much even. The 2 turnovers were huge, and one a very questionable call. UCLA didn't get a break on that one, but you know what? You got to hold the football till you're down, and that's what you always tell your players. And Miami pulls off an upset, maybe not of biblical proportions, but certainly a stunner here at the Orange Bowl. Thanks for joining us here at the OB and for being with us all season long for Hurricanes football. Don't forget to see the Canes at the Micron PC Bowl at Pro Player Stadium. Football fans, don't miss Sports Channel's Sunday morning playbook. It kicks off at 8:30 a.m. with Dolphins Magazine, followed by the Tom Coughlin Show at 9 and the Jimmy Johnson Show at 9:30. Then at 10 o'clock, an hour and a half of in-depth NFL pregame coverage on Sunday morning NFL. That's all right here on Sports Channel. My personal thanks go to my broadcast partner, John Congemi. I'm Frank Fort. For everybody on our production crew, thanks to you guys, and thank you for joining us. Once again, the final score, Miami 49, UCLA 45. So long, everyone.